What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Also at Orders Nation, socials as well. Give you as many opportunities for you to digest the show as we got lots and lots to discuss today. We'll have a little pick at playalberta.ca. Of course, going to go with a little parlay action today. If you want to get in on the pick, it's the Stars to win on the road and Washington to win by 2 in San Jose. So check it out at playalberta.ca where you get odds boost and more. Use the code Gregor50. You make a $50 deposit and they'll match it. You get 2 for 1. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Lots of things are going on in Pittsburgh right now. Imagine your quarterback telling everybody that receivers and others aren't showing up for film sessions. Tight end Pat Freiermuth is like, that's not true. It's like Lane Kiffin telling everybody in his press release, oh, you know what? Everybody really wanted me the coach until his players go on social media. No, we didn't. You quit on us. Like, what a why would somebody in that position think, oh, I'm just going to say it and everybody's going to believe me? Well, because sadly, some people do. Oh, well, he said it's got to be true. Why would the players want you? You just quit on them. What a joke. The Oilers didn't quit last night. They played pretty well. Lose 1-0. The good news for the Oilers, I'm going to say this is the first time all season that the Oilers have played back-to-back games where they were sound defensively. Stuart Skinner didn't have to face a ton of quality shots. And by the way, neither did Wallstedt. Wallstedt faced, courtesy of ClearSight Analytics, 4 high-danger shots and 4 mid-danger shots. Stuart Skinner faced 3 high-danger chances and 9 mid-danger chances. So, you know what? The Oilers had the puck a lot. You'll look and say, oh, they had 33 shots. Yes, but there wasn't a ton of rebounds. You had guys around the net when the puck would get to the net, but no one got their stick on it around the net. And as Connor McDavid so accurately said after the game, we passed up some good looks, no one more than myself. And it's bang on. Connor McDavid right now he's in a little bit like, you look at a few things. I know some people, we get a lot of people online telling me, oh, McDavid's hurt. So you're telling me he's hurt. He's going to play the most minutes that he's averaging ever in his career. He's got the highest speed of his career, but he's hurt. They're like, oh, yeah, he's shooting less. He's hurt. He can't shoot. Well, no, that's not true. His shots on goal are down, but you don't want to know why? Because his shots that miss the net are way up. That's the difference. His actual shot attempts that are either on goal or miss the net are the exact same as the last 3 seasons. Actually higher than last year where he was 4.2 a game. This year's at 4.54. And you know what he was 2 years in 2024? 4.59. It's the same guy. His shot attempts either missing the net or hitting the net are basically the same. The difference is his shots on goal are down because he's missing the net more. He's got 48 missed shots of the net this year in 27 games. It's way higher than he has in other years. And to me, when you consider that he's tried different sticks, I think this is a little bit of a mental thing for Connor McDavid right now because he's talked openly that he wants to shoot more. And I think he gets into a situation where he's not trusting himself to finish. And so he's looking to pass. Like you look at that play, 5 minutes into the second period, he comes right down Main Street. Great move around the defenders into the low spot. Then he tries a backhand pass. Now, I don't know if it was intended for Matt Savoy or not. Hyman might have thought it was for him. It goes off his skate. They don't even get a shot on goal out of that sequence. Whereas McDavid, you know what? You're coming in on that side. You come back to your forehand, you shoot. Or you can even shoot your backhand. Goalies will tell you the most unpredictable shot. A lot of times they're backhand because you can't really tell, like, is this guy going up? Is it going down? You don't really know. This is according to goalies. I'm not a goalie. I'm just saying what goalies tell me, that a lot of times the backhand shot's very unpredictable. You don't see it that much. You don't know where is it going to go high? Is it going to go low? Is it going to go medium? Is it going to go, what's the velocity going to be? lots of questions. Where usually you kind of can get a decent gauge on shots on the forehand. So I look at the Oilers right now, and to me, that loss last night is probably the most positive loss they've had all year. Because their defensive game, despite them trying to tie the game, they didn't make unnecessary risks. They didn't have blatant giveaways. They didn't get extended defensive zone time where they couldn't get the puck out and they couldn't win battles. None of that happened last night. They were the team that controlled most of the game. Unfortunately, Minnesota had a pretty good defensive structure. Jonas Brodin, how good was he last night? How good was Brodin defensively for the Wild? Even Brock Faber, I thought, was pretty good. But Brodin, man, he might be top 3 or 4 pure defensive defensemen in the game. And I know Jacob Slavin gets a lot of love, as he should. But, man, Brodin is good. He is really good. And the Wild right now, they're playing excellent as a team. You know, Wallstedt gets his 4th shutout in 6 starts. The team's had 5 shutouts in their last 9 games. It's wild. And Wallstedt was good last night. But he wasn't, like, out of his mind good because, as I outlined, the Oilers didn't have that many high-quality chances. Shots, yes. Not many high-quality chances. And that's why shots on goal are one element. It's best to dig in and find out how many quality chances you had. So Edmonton now, I thought Minnesota was going to be the toughest one. If they would have beaten Minnesota, you had a chance to have an unreal homestand. But now you got Seattle, a team you should beat. You got way more. You're better offensively than them. They're not as good defensively as Minnesota. And if the Oilers can just continue, Seattle doesn't generate high-danger chances, man. They're the least dangerous offense in the league. We saw that on Saturday. They had a few chances, and Skinner played well. Right? Skinner's allowed 1 goal in his last 2 games. No issue with it. So we'll get into that. Mike Rupp will be by. Your Remchuk. Business of Sport today. Rich Winter will be by. Also, Tyler Smith is going to join us. Of course, Tyler Smith was one of the survivors of the Humboldt crash, and he's turned that tragedy into a business, Not Alone, which really focuses on just struggling at times and dealing with it for men, women, athletes. So we'll talk about that. His business of sport, I think, and really an inspiring story and how you overcome something like that. You never forget it, I would imagine. Right? It's I'm sure every year on that anniversary or every time you see some of those guys, like, how much survivor remorse, we've heard about that. So we'll talk to Tyler about a lot of different things. Spec will be by. Also, going to talk a little green and gold as well. Did you know that the league meetings today was budget day in the CFL? And just trying to get some info on what was there. Lots of positive, I was told today. Lots of positives in that. Obviously, there's some areas they want to work on and improve. And there's still discussions about the upcoming rule changes over the next few seasons in the CFL. And, you're going to have a small percentage of diehard people. Oh, my God, we're going to 4 downs, despite the commissioner saying it repeatedly. But you're like, yeah, but I believe it. So it must be true. I believe that's what they're doing. Well, great. You can believe it. But it's based on nothing factual. It's not happening. Also, today, the month of giving continues on. We've had a great first few days. And then kind of 2 days and a half because we have 2 packages today, one of them involving Carius. They already started auctioning off, so that's awesome. So we have 2 packages today. Package number 1 is the golf experience at the Ranch Golf and Country Club, where you get 10 rounds on yourself to go golf whenever you like. Then another time, there's you and 2 of your buddies are going to tee it up with their head pro, Sean Piercy, gets off his wallet, buys lunch and beverages and everything else. And even if you like some on-course tutelage to help your game. Another day, you're going to go with Carius and Murray McCourtin. Those 2 sandbaggers will get off their wallet, and you'll have a great day. Lots of laughs, lots of fun, lots of chirps. And I can tell you that probably best to Uber to the course that day. So Pillman has that package at $2,000. So that's package number 1. Awesome. Package number 2 today is our ultimate made-to-measure experience at Mr. Dirk. So, first of all, Sterling Dirk, one of the best dressed guys in the city. Hopefully he's not listening, but it's true. Probably the most well-kept beard. And I work with Connor Halley, who's got a real good beard. Sterling's a little bit fuller all the time. And by the way, we haven't even talked about Connor's haircut. We probably should get into that. Cons looked like it chopped off a lot of his hair. He's kind of been going under the radar. So I don't know if that was an accident. He's been wearing a hat the whole time. He's not even showing it off. So we'll find out what happened with Con's hair a little bit later on. But at Mr. Dirk, so you're going to get, you get 2 hand-picked outfits from Sterling, right? Blazers, shoes, jeans. He'll talk to you, he'll help you out. Obviously, you'll have a say in it. Then you get an additional, and trust me, that's going to be, that's at least $1,500, if not more, in great clothing from Mr. Dirk. Then you get an additional $500 in gift certificate to be used towards anything else you like, ties, accessories, everything else. All the tailoring. So if you buy a suit, all the tailoring is going to be included. That's on top of it. And you get an in-store consultation with Sterling to help fill out your wardrobe. Guys who have bid on this in the past, we actually, Scott and Brian and many others over the years have said, man, I could not believe just the little tips to make my wardrobe look way better. So maybe you're in a business where you got to dress up all the time and you're like, man, I need some new tips. Or maybe, you know what? You're just like, hey, gotta keep the lady in my life knowing that she's got a winner, right? And that she is the lucky one. It's always good, gents. I never, we'll get into something else. But so that's package 2. Okay. It's the ultimate made to measure experience at Mr. Dirk. Package 2, package 1 at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. You can text in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Pillman's at $2,000 on the ranch. And Mike opens up the bidding at $1,000 at Mr. Dirk. So there you go. I love it. Lots of texts flying in. Hey, guys, I don't think McDavid's hurt, but he may have peaked. He's not the electrifying player he was. I'm guessing post-COVID brain fog. No, well, that's probably a ridiculous statement. As for peaking, have you watched Sidney Crosby? Like, when you try to claim, oh, the player's peaked, he's never going to get any better. Like, what? Sidney Crosby's career high in goals is 51. Crosby has 18 goals already this season. He's on pace for 60. I don't think he's going to get to 60. But do you think that maybe, I think there's a few things at play here with McDavid. He's played a lot of hockey. I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself. And I think right now, Connor McDavid is I think at times, it's going to sound weird, there are certain times in the game where McDavid is trying to do too much. And it shows up. You look at his, look at the giveaways he's had this year. He's on pace for 125 giveaways. His career high was 89, set in 2019. And then he had 84 in 24. Those are the only 2 times he's averaged, 1 turnover a game. In an 80-game season. That's it. He's on pace for 125. And look in the 5-on-4, 6-on-4, right? And McDavid tries to force a pass into an area. And I think that's why he was quite perturbed at himself after the game. And guess what? Even the best players. And so Connor McDavid goes in a funk, and all that happens is he's 5th in league scoring instead of 1st. He's still really good. Don't get me wrong. But I think anybody who watches the game will see that, McDavid's trying to thread some passes through the eye of the needle that right now aren't working. And this offense obviously wants to get more consistent. We still haven't seen that yet. Maybe the offense is coming out. That's 2 games. I know it's a small sample size, but you got to start somewhere. 2 games after having practice time where they can focus on their defensive game, we've seen an improvement. That continues. You don't defend as much. You get to be in the offensive zone more. I think it's a recipe for success. But I don't think there's any doubt in my mind right now that there's a little bit of struggles offensively from Connor McDavid. By his standards. Not the standards of the league. By his standards. Con, what do you think?
I would agree. I mean, it's a little frustrating. Like he said, passed up on opportunities. That's something I think we've become a little too accustomed to with him. Just ran some numbers here. He is on pace for 33 goals and 75 assists. I put him at 108 points, assuming he were to stay healthy, more than last year where he missed a bunch of games. For me, the frustration just because, he has that ability to shoot the puck. We've seen him score a lot of goals in the NHL. There's times where I'd like him to just be a little bit more selfish and channel that. And, selfishly, yes, it would benefit your statistics, but it's also going to help your team win hockey games if you become that guy and say, I want the puck, I want to shoot, I want to win. With all due respect to Hyman and Nuge and most of the Oilers except for Draisaitl, I've got a really good shot. I can take that. So I would love to see him shoot it more, of course. But Yeah, I don't think there's any post-COVID brain fog or anything like that. I think it's just been a
5 years after. He didn't have it when he had 150 points, but suddenly it came up now. Like, my God, that's a idiotic claim.
I think.
Sorry,
I think
goodness.
At some point, we're going to see the guy we're used to. It's just taking a little bit longer than expected, and multiple reasons I think for that.
Well, to me, there's a little frustration in his game right now. I see it. And I think there's a little bit of him, questioning. He wants to shoot more. Maybe he's not having the success. I think you're seeing that. He like a lot of guys, when you get into a funk, it gets in between your ears more than it is in your hands, actually. And like I said, his little funk is still infinitely better than everyone else. He's 5th in the league in scoring. But I think just when you look at the giveaways and you look at some of the shots he's passing up and everything else, it is it's something that you can't deny. Now, he's one guy. If he's having an off night, you need other guys to step up and score. And last night, the Edmonton Oilers, they put more pucks on net, yes. But how many times did Wallstedt have to make a rebound save? Not very often, right? There wasn't a lot of second opportunities, as we outlined. 4 high danger, 4 mid danger. That's not a very difficult game for the goaltender, right? Skinner had 3 high danger, 9 mid danger chances that he faced. So actually faced more than what Wallstedt did last night. Take a quick break. We'll come up. Mike Rupp will join us. We're up to 1,200 from James on the Mr. Dirk package and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oodle Noodle Origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle. The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Wilhock beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Wilhocking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537. Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
It's Canadian Tire's Black Friday sale
with the lowest prices of the year.
How low can we go? Limbo again?
Shop the Black Friday sale at Canadian Tire and save up to 60%. November 27th to December 7th. Conditions apply. Details online.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 10th to 12th, 8 a.m. Live on-site and online. On offer, core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids, on-site viewing, and timed auction start December 5th. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and people often ask me, hey, Rick, do people actually buy RVs from No Bull in the fall?
Fair question, Rick. Why would you want to buy an RV just when it's time to put it away in storage for the winter?
And I have the answer, Bob, because the RVs at No Bull are used, and that means every RV on our lot is a one-of-a-kind. So when you're looking for a used RV, you can be really picky.
One-of-a-kind means you don't have to compromise on what you're looking for.
That's right, Bob. But it also means when you find the right one, you grab it up before someone else does. Sometimes that's in the fall, but No Bull makes it easy because when you buy your used RV now, we include winterization and winter storage for free. We even get it prepared for spring camping at no charge to you. All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
.224 on a wintry Wednesday afternoon. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Edmonton Oilers had a skate today. They will take on the Seattle Kraken for the second time in 5 days. Tomorrow, Oilers were victorious 4-0. They lose 1-0 last night to Minnesota. It's crazy. Wallsted's had 4 shutouts in his last 6 games. The Wild have had 5 shutouts in the last 9 games. Oilers' defensive game was very good last night. Just couldn't generate the offense that they would have liked in that game. There's some frustration, I think, afterwards. Maybe their best chance might have been the Matthias Ekholm when he beat Wallstedt cleanly and rung it off the bar. Like that's kind of become Ekholm's office. He comes in from that left point, top of the circle, and he loves going top shelf. He has scored up high on a lot of goalies, and he just missed that one. And the Hyman chance in front, but like Hyman said, he goes, I just couldn't get it up, right? Like he kind of hit the pad, was in the middle of the net. And if you raise that, it's pretty much a guaranteed goal. So unfortunate for him at that time. 833-401-1440. Mike comes back in at $1,500 now on our month of giving package, courtesy of Mr. Dirk. And we have a Pillman at $2,000 on our Ranch Golf and Country Club package. You can check those out at the Sports 1440, jasongregor.com. They're right there. Also up on our Orders Nation article. If you want to get all the specific details at Dirk's, it's you want to look good, want to feel good. For tailoring's included. You got about over $2,000 in money to use for clothing, and then you get an in-store consultation with Sterling to go right through your whole wardrobe if you like, and tell you what you need, what you're missing, what's good or not. We should ask Struds about how that went when he did that the first time. Oh my God, it was still the best. Is this everything you have in your closet? Do you have anything other than sweaters? Oh God, it was great. So 833-401-1440. You can text or call that number. Let's go around the NHL now. Brought to you by McDonald's. The McVeggie is here. It's a new era for you. More than just a sandwich. It's an iconic flavor moment. The McVeggie and the spicy McVeggie. Only at McDonald's. Is Mike Rupp, Stanley Cup winner, former NHLer, ace analyst for the NHL Network, and a co-host on the DFO Rundown podcast on Fridays. Joins us. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
What's up, Greg? How are everybody?
Hey, I'm good. I want to get your thoughts now. I'm going to make this comparison knowing that obviously you guys weren't in the same offensive category, but I've seen lots of guys struggle offensively before, right? And when you're a third and fourth line guy, like a lot of times it stretches into 15, 18 games, no goals, and guys are getting rattled. I watched McDavid play. He's got more turnovers now than he's had ever in his career. He's on pace for 125. The most he's ever had is 89. His shots on goal are down because he's actually missing the net at a much higher rate than he ever has before. And I see him he's forcing passes. Now, he's still fifth in the league in offense. He's still really good. There's no question. But he just seems to be fighting it a bit. He's changing sticks, Rupper. And I guess at the elite level, does he look like a player who's maybe kind of questioning himself at times offensively?
Yeah, because we don't usually see this from him, and he probably doesn't usually feel this way, whatever he's feeling right now. I think the big thing is that most players in the National Hockey League are not to his level, pretty much all of them. The tough part is if this was somebody else in the lineup, even like a second line guy or middle six guy, fourth line, any player you want to name, if you're having that many turnovers and you're still not getting your offense, you're sitting there thinking, all right, well, I got to clean that up or I'm going to be too much of a liability. But when you're a high-end guy, I look at it differently because that's what he has to do and is paid to do. Like Connor can't turn into a Selke guy now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's got to fight. He's got to kind of fight through it. So I think that's all part of it. Is just, and it's like in the NBA, just you hear some of these great shooters, they got to kind of shoot their way through things. And but yeah, I think you got to pay attention to it. I don't think that you have free carte blanche to do whatever you want to do and turn pucks over. But you certainly got to find that fine line of getting through it. I think when you talk about switching sticks and doing some things like that, that's where I found like superstars. For them to do that, that's where you know that they have a real battle going on in their minds. So it's probably a lot deeper thoughts than I ever had thinking about the game offensively, but he'll find his way out of it. This is a very foreign land, I think, for all of us right now watching him.
Yeah. And again, he's still like fifth in the league in scoring, but he just, something looks a little off. He misses passes that he normally never misses, right? Instead of putting it on the guy's tape, he puts it in their skates. And that doesn't happen, right? And it's a reminder to take for granted, like the great players, it's hard to be great and accurate all the time with your passes and your decision-making. And so, we'll see where they go. Now, the good news for the Oilers, Mike, is I know they lost last night, and I could tell they were pretty annoyed with that loss. And I know in the NHL, wins are all that matters. It's still better to play poor and win than play well and lose. It just is. It's a weird thing. Now, if you look big picture, you're like, hey, I'd rather have a loss where we played well because that means that we can continue it. And the Edmonton Oilers really, up until their last two games, I don't think they had strung together two consecutive strong defensive games. Seattle didn't have much, and last night, Minnesota didn't have much. That's got to be a positive, even though you lose the game.
I think it has to, because that's been your Achilles heel this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We've seen stretches where they could score goals. I mean, does it stink losing 1-0? Absolutely. But you also have lost a lot of hockey games this year because you couldn't defend. You couldn't limit opportunities for the other hockey clubs. So having a couple games of putting that together at least feels better. It feels there's no moral victories, but sometimes you feel a little bit better about your game. Hey, at least we're turning a corner in this way. At the end of the day, just you nailed it. I mean, I'd rather play poor and lose, but at the same time, you got to look at the glass half full. That's your only way to go through it. And it's so funny because you can have all these different scenarios. I just remember as a player, you always try to grab the positive. That's the only way you can get through some things. You got to be realistic, but you also have to grab a positive. And this was a positive. This was a positive because if this team does not make the playoffs this year, it's because of their lack of defensive play. Well, that has been much better the last couple games. At least it's a stepping stone moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you got, you got Seattle, who, let's be honest, they're not a dangerous threat. And leads me to my question, Rupper, about the Seattle Kraken and Lane Lambert and the direction the organization is going. So they're not blessed with an abundance of high skill players. Right. And they still, I think, have a lot of older guys that, that they'd like to get rid of. And they probably can't until their contracts age out, because they're not necessarily the most, contract friendly guys that you're like, hey, you know what? We would look to acquire that guy. They've gotten a little bit younger with Capo Caco lately. And, they've acquired him. And obviously you have Beniers, and then you have Shane Wright. But like, I'm looking at Shane Wright's minutes, and he's playing like 13 minutes a night. And last year had taken a big step forward in the second half of their season. And now he's not doing it. How do you think they balance it? Because I'm sorry, Seattle's not a playoff team. They're not really, like, they're in the playoff mix, but they're not a playoff team in my eyes, Rupper. Maybe you disagree with me on that and you can share your views. But I just look at an organization where I feel like you're not playing your young guys. So what's your goal here? Like, what's your long-term vision in Seattle?
I mean, it makes sense what you're saying. I too do not believe that they are a playoff team. Now, to your point, I believe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you don't have a realistic view of who you are, I mean, you're not going to just sit here now and be like, oh, we're just going to play young kids and play ourselves out of the playoffs or in the playoff picture. But at the same time, you have to keep one eye on the future a little bit, don't you? Or else this is going to be a team that is going to miss the playoffs. Maybe it's just miss even the playoffs. And then you kind of go all over again and repeat the process because you're not developing the players. So, yeah, I think that's something. They're a team that if they're going to turn the corner and become a higher echelon team, it's going to be shrewd moves, kind of like those ones. It's taking a flyer and on Kako. It's to be in a position where, okay, man, the draft played out a certain way where we get Shane Wright at the pick we get him at, and he's supposed to be first overall pick. Like it's remember when they got Tolvanen from Nashville, it was like, okay, this is a former first round pick that gave us a boost here. Like I think you're going to have plays like that all the time and hope that they can turn something that really didn't look like it was going to turn out to be much into something big. But to your point, you got to still develop. They're a team that I think that's one of the hardest struggles in the NHL. And I said this, I think, to you, and we talked about it on the DFO rundown, and I'm not meaning this about the Seattle Kraken. I'm speaking in general terms that sometimes doing the right thing for the organization moving forward doesn't get done in this league because you're making decisions based off of your job. You're there to make sure that this team has progress, and you're not looking too far down the road. That's why it would almost feel great if teams in general, again, would let everybody know, like, hey, this is our long-term plan here, and we want to get to here. Like, your job is, listen, everyone's job is, it's going to be reevaluated all the time, but like, make the right decisions. So I don't know. That's something that I always, job security, I think sometimes gets in the way of maybe a realistic view of who we are as a team. And I always go back to Doug Armstrong. I think has been one of the best GMs at doing that. And I date it back a number of years where there'd be times in St. Louis where he'd sit there, and this is a team that'd be in the playoff mix, and come deadline time, they would trade away a player, and they would sit there and just feel like, I don't know if we have that team right now, but we have to keep an eye on the future. So it doesn't happen often. I kind of feel like that's where Seattle is right now. It might be a tough decision, but I don't believe that they will be a playoff team as the season goes on.
Because Shane Wright is third on their team in goals, but he's ninth on their team in time on ice. And this guy's not a rookie, right? Like, it's not even his second year. It's kind of his third year pro. So what are you doing? Right? Like, I don't really understand that. I get that you want, you know what? Hey, I want guys who are going to be playing right. But here's the other. It's not like Shane Wright is getting murdered. He's not a minus player. So he's scoring goals. That isn't a guy who's scoring on. It's not like he's boosting his numbers on the power play, right? I think he is. I think he's third in even strength points on the team, but he's ninth. And I'm saying even strength points amongst the forwards, but he's ninth in minutes. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And I think what's going to happen here is you're going to get a young player that's like, okay, they put me in the minors. Sure. Now it's like all the other guys, Tolvanen and others are playing more than me, but I'm producing more. I think this is, don't be surprised if Shane Wright gets annoyed in Seattle based on how they're using him, because it doesn't make any sense to me, Rupper. Makes none.
No, you're right. And again, it kind of goes to me where the way this team has been, or their lack of taking meaningful steps, I think weighs into that. They need to see progress this year. And if your coach doesn't believe that he can put you out there in certain situations, even though you are putting up numbers, then that's what it is. But I agree with you. It's that fine line. You've got to play guys, because we talk about Kakko. I mean, that's kind of the same thing in a different way that Kakko dealt with in New York and Lafreniere did for so long too. It's like this was a team that needed to see progress. I mean, they were at a different stage. They were in win now mode, and they're like, we are going to play. We're going to give the meaningful minutes late in the game to guys that we know will execute the job. And meanwhile, in their situation, you had a first overall pick and I don't know what was Kakko was 2. You had a second overall pick that weren't getting the development that they needed at the time. So you hope that doesn't happen with Shane Wright. But to your point, he will get frustrated here real quick, especially if he is putting up numbers.
Yeah. Looking at a few other teams, Rupper, around the league that are interesting storylines for me anyway. I don't know what it is about you. The East is fascinating to me. I'm not like there's no Colorado, or heck, there's not even a Dallas there right now. You're I think 4 points out of first in the East and 4 points out of last in the East for teams like Pittsburgh, etc. It's pretty even, Steven. Is there a team is Carolina the team, because they don't have Jacob Slavin and they're still in first place? The Washington Capitals have suddenly won 5 in a row. They seem to be waking up and playing like they did last year. Ottawa gets Brady Tkachuk back. The Devils got a lot of injuries, of course, but is there a team that you like most in the East?
Yeah, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are a team that they started the season very poorly. This is a team that was top 5 in a lot of categories last year, whether it was offensively, defensively, and now all of a sudden they're back to being that. And what they've done with the injuries, it's kind of crazy. And just doing a dive on some of the guys that have out of the lineup, they have. So Chernak hasn't played. You've got McDonough that was out, and Hedman is out. And that was we did the math. It was 2,600 NHL games, X amount of Stanley Cups. I mean, Ryan McDonough's got over 200 playoff games. There's a lot of veteran experience. And the guys that are playing, you take the entire 6 defensemen that they've been running with while they, before that loss last night to the Islanders, they were the hottest team, one of the hottest teams in the NHL. And the combined games played was 700 for the 6 guys. That's not even half the games, or about half the games as Ryan McDonough's had in his career. So they have this lack of experience back there, but John Cooper's got this buy-in, and the way they defend, I was grabbing some clips of theirs the other day. It's every picture you get, you have the puck in the offense, their defensive zone. You've got Tampa Bay Lightning players just surrounding the puck. There's so many layers to their defense. And so when you're playing like that, and you also have Andre Vasilevsky back there, and you're doing it with some, I don't want to be cruel here, to no-name defensemen. The forwards are helping out those defensemen. I mean, that's before we even start talking about some of the talent that they have that have found their game. Brandon Hagel's been one of the hottest players in the league. You've got Nikita Kucherov, who is an Art Ross waiting to happen. It's Jake Gensel. Braden Point had a very slow start. He's starting to get going. He was injured as well, but trying to find his game. So it's they're a team that I think is starting to show people that you shouldn't have forgotten about us. Like their team, I think Florida Panthers are always going to be that squad. We don't know what they're going to be later. So they're down far in the standings, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're the best team, I think, by a decent margin in the Eastern Conference.
What about the Sabres? You get Josh Norris back. A, Rupper, and I hate to ask this question, is how many games will he play before he's hurt? And B, if he isn't hurt, and I hope he isn't, can the Sabres make the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, I know it didn't sound very. Hold on, let me try that again. Yeah, they can. Yeah, that better. I kind of came. I don't know. I didn't mean to be disrespectful the way I did that, and then I heard myself. But no, and the reason why I want to emphasize the second, is because the East is wide open. So if they can start putting it together, it's funny because there's days where I sit there and I look and I think about that back end, and I think to myself, man, I just don't know if I like their back end. I don't know if I like their build of their decor. But then there's days when I look at their back end, and I don't know if I'm just happier on those days, but I look and I say, wow, man, it would be pretty special to have some of those pieces that they have, whether it's Power, whether it's, Dahlin, you got Byram, like you've got a pretty good group of players. They should be good. And so I think this is a team that's got a ton of talent. We've known that. And now they're starting, they're starting to put it together a little bit, but I'm very hesitant because I just don't know. I need to see consistency with them. This is also a team that was horrific earlier on in the season. And we just got done talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, why am I not treating them fairly, or the same way, I should say, and thinking, well, are they for real or not? Because we've seen who Tampa is over the years. And I think we've seen who Buffalo is over the years. And I won't give them the same benefit of the doubt. But I would be glad to put my foot in my mouth on them. But can they make it? Yeah, and that should be the message every single day in that room. Every single day in that room. Like, we put some games together. We've got 50-some-odd games left. We got to be better than – I'd point it out to the boys. Like, X, Y, Z – ABC, those are our target teams. There's a path for us to get in the playoffs. We have to be better than them. Scoreboard watch, standings watch, do whatever you need to do, but be sure when it's time to play that we get some points in these games. So I think they got some of the horses to do it. We'll see if they finally can kind of get over that hump. And it kind of feels like it's been a mental hurdle over the years.
For sure. Rupper, good stuff, buddy. We will chat with you on the rundown on Friday. Have a good one.
Awesome, buddy. Enjoy.
There you go. That's Mike Rupp from NHL Network. Will come back, update you on the month of giving. Off to a very good start once again. Thank you very much for that. We'll get into some statistics that might blow your mind a little bit. If you're a believer in elite, we'll talk about a little elite next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oh, hold up. Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both. Oh.
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right. So Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free. And the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
It's the biggest game of the season. The Edmonton Oil Kings Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick.
Family Fun Sunday, December 7th. Bring your new stuffed bears to the game, and when the Oil Kings score their first goal, the fur will fly onto the ice.
Help Santa's Anonymous collect thousands of bears this holiday season for families in need.
See the Oil Kings in their special Teddy Bear Toss-themed jerseys as they face the Prince Albert Raiders.
Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick. 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon at Rogers Place.
Limited seats remain. Great family entertainment starts at just $20 a seat at oilkings.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Yeah, you could make a post about Skinner on X. 2:49. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Of course, Oilers back in action tomorrow as they in the middle of a 5-game homestand. They will take on Seattle tomorrow, Winnipeg Saturday, then Buffalo and Detroit next Tuesday and Thursday. Then they head out for another 5-game road trip that has them stopping in Toronto and Montreal and Pittsburgh, Boston, and they end up in Minnesota. Final game. And then, well, actually on the 18th, that's their last game in the Eastern time zone of December. So it's been a real tough schedule, but I think down the road that could pay dividends for them. Month of Giving continues on today. We've got 2 great packages. Package number 1 is currently at $2,000. It's the golf experience at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. You get 10 rounds of your own with a cart. Use whenever you like. You also have on another day, you and 2 buddies are going to tee it up with head pro Sean Piercy. He'll get off his wallet, buy you some lunch and beverages, even give you some on-site instruction. I got another day that usually it'll just be a Sunday, just so you know, this will be on a weekend, that you and a friend will tee it up with Kevin Karras and GM Marie McCourt from the ranch. We'll have a great time. Loads of fun, lots of chirps, lots of laughs. Those 2 are buying, so make it worth their while. You know what I'm saying? So Pillman has that at $2,000 right now. Started that one in the morning. And then package number 2 is courtesy of the ultimate made-to-measure experience at Mr. Dirk. where, man, you are going to walk out of there feeling good. You got about over $2,000 to use towards outfits and shirts and ties, accessories, all the tailoring's included on top of that. Plus, you get an in-store consultation with Sterling to ensure you fill out your wardrobe properly. So, you know what? You're going to get kind of 2 outfits handpicked by Sterling: jeans, shoes, blazers, shirts, all kind of combinations of 2. Then you get an additional 500 in GCs towards any shirt, ties, accessories at Mr. Dirk, pocket squares, you name it, they got it. And then all the tailoring's on top of that. And then you get the in-store consultation. And Mike currently has that at $1,500. So, get that up face value. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Now let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca. Proudly partnered with Connor McDavid since 2016. Goauto.ca. The Edmonton Oilers back on the ice. A little bit of a between day practice, and we'll hear from Stuart Skinner coming up momentarily, the goaltender who, hey, that's 2 consecutive really solid games by the Oilers, and thought really solid games by Stu Skinner. I know originally people were like, it's a terrible goal, until it was deflected, right? It happens. Hey, Skinner, when your goalie allows 1 goal in 2 games, how on earth can you be complaining about the goaltending? I just don't get it. I really don't. There's lots of time to complain about the goalie early. I don't think you can. Here's Stu Skinner just sharing his thoughts on last night's performance.
Yeah, it was solid. I thought both teams played a really good game. Thought Wallstedt was amazing out there. We weren't able to catch one, but that happens. I mean, it was 2 good teams going after it. I thought for us, we were solid in every end of the ice, and we were able to keep it really tight.
And all the numbers back it up. Is although you could argue that Edmonton still, they allowed 3 high danger and 9 mid chances, where Minnesota allowed 4 high danger and 4 mid chances. So, like I said, I know people look at the shots on goal. Shots on goal are one aspect. With the data now and the tracking and everything else, and many of you watch the games, like, I was sitting there and saying, hey, like, how many great chances? I thought Ekholm was one of their best chances. He hit the crossbar, and then there's a Hyman chance. But is there any other chance that really stands out? I think the Oilers looked like they had some good chances and then kind of passed out of the good chance by either not passing or passing when they should have been shooting. So, not good. From Skinner's perspective, what has he seen as the difference in the defense in front of him? What has he liked the last 2 games?
I think it kind of goes with everything, but just like sticking to our structure and trusting each other within that structure. Block shots are huge. Keeping things from the to the outside. When there is a breakdown, being able to trust that I got, my guy and they got theirs. So yeah, it's kind of a combination of a lot of things.
Well, you look at it, prior to these past 2 games, the Oilers are one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL. And they haven't been that. Like, they're better. They have more talent to be one of the worst defensive teams. But if you don't commit to it, and they were getting beat in pretty much every area of the ice. Screens, deflections, slot line chances, slot chances, chances off the rush, like pretty much anywhere. They were struggling. And a few practices, some time to just kind of reset and reboot has helped out. No question. Now, there are a few guys like, how about this for a stat? Now, I know he hasn't played every game, so it is important to mention that. But Alec Regula hasn't been on the ice. I'm just talking on the ice for a goal scored at 5-on-5 this year. Not one. He's played 13 games. Hasn't been on the ice for 1 goal for 5-on-5. Like, at some point, you gotta contribute a little bit. Make a pass. Maybe it's the third pass. But don't you got to contribute a little bit? And then you look at Andrew Mangiapane's last 19 games. Not good. He's been on for 21 goals against in that time. And he's scored 1. He's minus 13 at 5-on-5 alone in the last 19 games. Not getting it done. You know, you got some guys that like they're third and fourth lines here. You got to get a semblance of some continuity going. You need some, like, how many chances did the fourth and third lines generate last night? Any? Can you think of one? Like, I know they're missing Kapanen, man. They're missing Roslovic, huge right now. But you got some other guys here that just, they got to get going. We've talked a lot about Trent Frederick, and rightfully so. He's one of them. Matthias Janmark. Like, has he even had a chance this year? So, yeah, you got way too many guys. Adam Henrique, I don't think, has scored in 20 games. 5-on-5. Like, he needs to get going. They got a lot of guys in that bottom six that need to pull up their socks offensively. No question about it. And lastly, Skinner just talked about how, you know, the play in front of him obviously helps his game. You know, you face less quality chances, but also gives you some confidence moving forward.
Yeah. Again, I think it's pretty similar to the last question, just with sticking to our structure and, you know, trusting each other. I think to a man, we're all just, you know, really buying into our structure. And I think to a man, we're just really trying to do our job and focus on each man to himself. You know, I'm doing my job. Becky's doing his job. Everyone else just does their job. And if we do that, I think we always give ourselves a chance.
Well, they get better defensively. They do have a chance because even with right now shooting blanks in their bottom six, they should have enough offense to win, especially at least in this next homestand. Now, unfortunately, Roslovic and Kapanen, my last report was like maybe they would get into one of those final two home games before Christmas. Maybe. It's probably realistic that they're not coming back till after Christmas. So the Oilers have still 11 games left this month, just before Christmas. You got 4 more in this homestand. Then you go on the road for 5, and then you come back and you finish off against Vegas and Calgary before Christmas. So, you know what? Some guys are just going to have to figure it out, get going offensively. Now, maybe they should go watch film because there's a team I want to talk to, and that wraps up the Oil Report brought to you by Go Auto. Because there's a team that you have to talk about. When we're talking greatness right now, if you're an NBA fan, the OKC Thunder are only the 4th team in NBA history to start a season at 21-1. The 2015-16 Warriors, they were 30-1. Not bad. The 93-94 Rockets, 22-1. The 1969-70 Knicks, 23-1. And when you look at this Warriors team, like, the Thunder, they played the Warriors last night. And I love Jalen Williams afterwards talking about how, man, like it's kind of, you know, he feels like they're emulating that Warriors team. And he goes, you get to play with some of the guys that were on that Warriors run. It's surreal. But this OKC Thunder team is amazing. So through their 22 games, they're allowing 6.8 points per 100 minutes less than everybody else. Like, that's massive, right? Their point differential through 22 games is plus 325. So that means, like, think about that. If you're averaging a win by 10 points a game, that's 220. They're at 325. Like, they are crushing teams. It's really not even close. They're winning games by an average of over 15 points a game. And it doesn't matter who you play. Not many guys can score points on. And then there's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had another unreal night last night. The guy's basically a point a game guy, a point a minute guy right now, which is wild. He had 38 points last night. He had season high 5 3-pointers. He's not really crushing teams on 3-pointers, although he can shoot it. You know, he was great in the fourth quarter again. But he came into the game with OKC trailing by 3 points, right? He had left the game. They were up. Then he comes back in. They're trailing by 3. Then they went on an 18-5 run to seal the win. There were 6 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. They're trailing by 3. He comes in. They outscore them 18-5 to win the game by 10. By 12. Like, they are really good. And I'm telling you, if you don't just watch the highlights, try to find a game where you can watch the Thunder, because you're seeing one of the greatest teams NBA's ever seen. And they got 2 Canadians on there, not just playing bit parts. OKC, you got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, I know I saw them, who they announced as, players of the month. And I'm like, they're like, well, we can't pick Alexander, so we'll pick someone else. Like, I don't get it. I know people talk about Jokic, and yeah, Jokic is good. Look at the numbers that Gilgeous-Alexander's putting up right now. Are you kidding me? That guy has been phenomenal. And he's barely playing. How many points would he average if he was like these other guys? He's playing 32 minutes a game because he blows everybody out, and then he gets the rest in the fourth quarter. Like last night was one of the few times they're like, oh, we're going to rest him. Oh, geez. Now these guys go over to wait. No problem, coach. Put me back in, and we'll seal the win. But he has been unreal to watch. And if you look at the Thunder moving forward, their schedule, they're 21-1, and they've got the Mavs next, I think it is. Yeah, they got the Mavs on Friday. Then they play the Jazz, then the Suns, the Clippers, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. Like, God, they might go into Christmas time because they have a week. There's the NBA quarterfinal, so they might have another game in between there. That's in between the 10th and the 17th. That's currently unscheduled because of who they play. So we always have to track that. So it'd be a good team that they're playing. But man, they are a team to watch right now. They're a lot of fun.
Funny, Gregor, the game they lost, they were up 22 points to the Portland Trailblazers.
Yes.
And I was saying, okay, you lose a game, how do you respond? Well, they've won 13 straight, so pretty impressive. They could have easily won that game, but yeah, you're right. It's fun to see what they're doing. It's historic.
Oh, is it ever historic? Yeah, they lost that game 121-19. And I'm sure if you ask them, they would be quite annoyed that they lost that game because they could be perfect right now. And that's hard to beat, man. That is really hard to do. 303, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. The Dallas Stars taking on the Devils. Stars and Matt Tyler Seguin is done for the year with an ACL injury. You've also got the Jets in Montreal. Flyers host the Sabres. Mammoth taking on the Ducks, and the Cubs. Capitals in San Jose taking on the Sharks in the association. Big news. Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have started conversations with the Bucks about the 2-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or going elsewhere. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Also, NBA vet Chris Paul waived by the Clippers earlier this morning. On the court, you got the Trailblazers taking on the Cavs. Pacers host the Nuggets. Spurs in Orlando. Knicks up against the Hornets. Kings taking on the Rockets. Bucks and Pistons. And the Heat in Dallas. PWHL action night. Vancouver and Boston taking on the Fleet. That one gets going just after 5 o'clock. And you've got collegiate basketball down south. Number 22, Indiana taking on Minnesota. 25, Arkansas hosting number 6, Louisville. And Clemson heads to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Ask 5 questions and be joined by Tyler Uremchuk of Oilers Nation. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing base wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder.
With over $3 million raised for local charities.
And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Feel a cold coming on? Reach for Oregano 8. With 8 powerful immune boosters like oregano oil, garlic, elderberry, and vitamin C, it delivers fast, effective relief. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
Wintry Wednesday.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You're going to be part of the show. As always, it's brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game tonight. Ooh, it's the big game to get in. Lotto Max, $70 million. Up for grabs on Friday. Tonight's Lotto 649 is 36 mil. Or maybe just, you know what? Want to have fun? Play some sports. Click on the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. Our play of the day has the Stars winning. They're going to be fired up. They're going to play for Tyler Seguin, who, if you missed it yesterday, he is out, torn ACL. Brutal news. He is most likely done for the season, I would think. If you think it's at least 6 months, and that's best case scenario for a lot of these injuries. So I guess there's a chance maybe he could come back, late in the playoffs, but not. And if you watched the play last night, it was just unfortunate. But we talked about it, Cons, when we saw the video during our show. Ooh, that doesn't look good. And unfortunately, it wasn't. And he is now out for the rest of the regular season for sure, and at least probably the first few rounds of the playoffs if they make it that far. So we'll say Stars to win, and the Capitals defeating the Sharks. Capitals, they've won 5 in a row. They're playing very well. Very well. So get some odds boost. Check it out at playalberta.ca. Coming up this hour, I know big announcement. Mark Killam, the head coach of the Green and Gold, is going to join us. Big announcement for them. Very cool camp that they're going to be unveiling for lots of football kids across this province. So we'll talk to Coach Killam about that and a little bit of a recap of the season and looking forward to next year. We got Tyler Remchuk coming up this hour. Business of Sport today with Rich Winter and Tyler Smith. Should be lots of fun. We got Mark Spector. We got the 2-minute warning is going to come up here momentarily. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Few quick texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregs, what's your feeling on the Oilers' net front presence? To me, this should be an expectation, not a choice. I feel like they've gotten more and more away from that, especially with the absence of Perry and when Hyman was gone. I'm trying to find a stat that tracks shot attempts at the screen, but I can't find it. Seems to me that they make it always easy on opposing goalies. From Aaron. Well, historically, yeah, they haven't been great on it this year. I actually thought last night they had a lot of bodies in front. They just didn't get any rebounds. Right. And so they tried, I thought, last night a little bit more, but they have some guys who, you're right. I agree with you that now Connor McDavid's not going to be standing in front of the net screening. Leon Draisaitl, probably not. I get it. But Adam Henrique, Trent Frederick, Clattenburg, Janmark. Yes, all those guys. No reason not to. Zero. Podkolzin, Mangiapane, none. I agree. Like, I look sometimes, I see the Oilers, like, they love to use the boards. They ring the puck around from the left side to the right side. They're moving, but lots of times they're doing it. They get it back to their point man. I look up and there's no one in front. Well, your point man can't shoot it there. And then if they do, people are like, well, why is he shooting? Well, he doesn't have any time left. He's got to shoot the puck. And the forward should get there, but they need more guys who I believe are just comfortable going to the net. Right? That's to me what I think they need a little bit more of. So I don't discount that at all. Hey, Gregor, I thought it was a great Oilers game. They got goalied. Not a game to complain about. Steam from Drumheller. Well, the Oilers did play well. As far as getting goalied, I'm not sold. Because if you look at the shots, 33. But high danger chances, 4 for Edmonton and 4 mid-danger chances. Minnesota had 3 high danger chances and 9 mid-danger chances. Add them up, it's 12-8. So I don't know if I'd say they got goalied, to be honest. Like, I know they got the shutout, but I thought Minnesota did a really good job of limiting the high danger. Edmonton had a lot of offensive zone time and possession time that didn't result in chances, and which I think reads well with the earlier text about how, sometimes you got to get a little dirty and go to it. So now I thought Skinner played really well too, right? It gets overlooked, I know, because in the loss, and some people just, I don't like the goalies. I can never admit he played well. His last 2 games, how can you complain about Skinner? He's allowed 1 goal and 50 shots. I have no issue with it at all. So, and I'd play him again tomorrow. Like, I know we have the questions like, when are you going to play Pickard? I'm probably going to play Pickard against Winnipeg, because that's going to be Winnipeg's 6th game in 9 nights, second half of back-to-back. And I'm like, my goodness, you got to be able to beat them. So that's what I would do. I think Skinner's in a little bit of a rhythm here. 2 really good games. Let him play again. Why not? That's what I would do. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. Your furnace conks out. You need a new one? Guess what? Late at night, on the weekends, they'll get it fixed, done, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, a longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. He's never let him slow him down. He's always wanted to be on the radio, but his disability didn't allow it until now, where we can take Cam words, they come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Have I got a deal for you today? A deal so opulent, so strutting with promise, that even Donald Trump, high priest of the hyperbolic, might pause, regard it, and whisper, remarkable, truly remarkable. For in this brief sliver of mortal time, where fate and generosity waltz in celestial harmony, we arrive at month of giving, day 3, and behold Gregor, bearing 2 packages with the gravity of a man entrusted with sacred scripture, or, equally delicate, luxury menswear. Package 1, Mr. Dirks. From the venerable house of Mr. Dirks, a made-to-measure experience, $1,500 toward 2 sterling Dirk-curated ensembles, blazers, shoes, jeans, the vestments of a man ready to negotiate with the universe on equal footing. Add $500 in shirt and tie gift cards, and naturally, tailoring is included. Anything less would be like building a cathedral and omitting the stained glass. Package 2, The Ranch. From the Ranch Golf and Country Club, a pastoral odyssey. 10 rounds of golf, complete with power carts and the right to send balls arcing heroically across manicured fairways. a round for 3 with head pro Sean Piercy, lunch and drinks included, and an expedition for 2 with GM Murray McCourt and Kevin Carius, likewise sustained. Should you bid and triumph, I shall tie your ties with Renaissance precision and accompany your game as cam caddies, a service so rare it deserves illumination in medieval manuscript. I know my handicaps. After 18 holes with you, I'll know yours with biblical clarity. Call 833-401-1440. Repeat it like a mantra. Oilers section, 1-minute benediction of concern. Now we pivot like a tall ship under full sail to our hockey meditation. I have long held that melodrama over a 1-0 loss is justified only in an elimination game, not on December 2nd, a date so modest it might pass unnoticed. Against Seattle, the Oilers played their most cohesive game of the season. Against Minnesota, they played well again, and Stuart Skinner stands blameless. 1 goal on 24 shots. But the Oilers, with 33 attempts, could not summon a single goal. 27 games, 82 goals, a ledger approaching theology, a team in philosophical estrangement from scoring itself. 2-minute warning, the month of giving with Gregor, Halley, Kruger, and me. SantaCam, weekdays on Sports 1440.
SantaCam. Tater. Got away with words. There's no doubt about that. He has a way with words. And speaking of those 2 packages, we're at, well, we're not even at face value, but you know what? I'm not worried because we always get to face value. But we're at $1,500 on the Mr. Dirk package right now. And we're at $2,000 on the golf package at the ranch. Mike has package, the Mr. Dirk package, and the Pill Man currently at $2K with the golf. So feel free to get in. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is where you can text or email. Either one. Not email, text us or call. The number is the same. And help out. By the way, people always ask, so today the Brightview Elementary breakfast program is going to be the big recipient. And so just think about it. It's one where if you think about it too long, it kind of makes your stomach a little queasy. You think about the fact that kids come to school and they don't have a meal, and for some of them, that's the only meal they get. And it's an unbelievably important little charity, and we're very happy to help them out every year. So you know what? If you like to look good, you want to feel good, you want to dress good, you're like, yeah, you know what? I need maybe a new suit or a blazer. I don't even know what I want. Well, guess what? Sterling can he'll pick it out and he'll make you look fantastic. So every time you wear that, you know what? Geez, some kids just got a meal today. And that's a wonderful thing, right? It's a wonderful thing. You help people you don't even know just out of the kindness of your heart. That's what the month of giving is about, right? Something we were taught at a young age. You know, it's always better to give than receive. And here's one. And no, you are receiving something, which is awesome. But you'll also receive a memory every time knowing you help out. So you want to go golfing, want to get some clothes, that's who you're helping out, just so you know. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Remchuk joins us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Oh, and no surprise, we mentioned this earlier in the show, Cons, early in the week when the Jays made their announcement of, signing the another starting pitcher.
Dylan Cease.
And well, no, not Cease. The guy from Pound, the big man, 6'6", 255.
Oh,
Ponds. Yeah. You look at the Jays, and I was like, well, they got too many starting pitchers. And we're like, I don't think Barrios is coming back. And now the report comes out today that probably he's going to get moved. And that makes sense. Also, and maybe we'll talk to Declan about this later on, and some people might disagree with me on this. When I look at who she fought, I thought Ronda Rousey was the most overhyped MMA star compared to a lot of the other women. I don't think she ever fought anyone that great. Well, now she's coming back and she's going to fight Katie Taylor. Like, am I wrong to think she is going to get destroyed? Like, does she need the money? Because I get, you know what? Hey, it's all about marketing. It'll sell. But, like, good for her to come back. She's not that old, so it's not like she's coming back at 40. But she kind of built up this. She was one of the early kind of innovators of women's, and She really got her career up without really ever beating anybody who was that good. And then the minute she faced some good ones, she got crushed. So we'll see. But I will say I would still probably watch that over Jake Paul fight. So just saying. We'll take a quick break before we return to the Gregor Show. Then by playalberta.ca.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just... Call Legacy. They're professional, never rude, doll. You should. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Plus, no interest and no principal payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today. When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Ring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular priced menu order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.325, welcome back, everybody. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. It is month of giving, and Mike has our Dirks package at $1,500. It's a fantastic package to Get some new clothes. We're not even at face value because you're getting $2,000 just in cash, not to mention all the tailoring on top of that of anything you purchase, an in-store consultation with Sterling to help fill their wardrobe and more. So that's currently at $1,500. And the Ranch Golf and Country Club package. So we've had a little snafu here. Let's just, we're not going to get into it. We're just going to say, hey, guess what? We're starting over on that package. So if you're a golf fan, you want to golf, you want to have a lot of fun at the ranch and with Carius and McCourt. And so here's how it works. You get 10 rounds of golf at the ranch for your own. You use whenever you like. You'll also have a day where you and two of your buddies will tee it up with head pro Sean Percy. You go out for a round of 18 and you get carts. Of course, you get food and beverage. Percy will get off his wallet, and he'll even get any because he's a certified pro. If you want any, you don't have to have it, but if you want some lessons, maybe just on your short game, chipping, whatever, you can do it on the course because sometimes it's better than just being on the range. So it's a little bit more fun and exciting. Another day, you're going to go out, you and a buddy, with Murray McCourt and Carius, and you'll tee it up. Those two will be taking care of everything that day. It's usually on a Sunday, and I'm telling you, it's loads of fun, all of it. So we'll start that one over right at zero, and we're helping out the Brightview Elementary lunch program. So we'd very much appreciate it. So if you want to golf, you want to help that out, there we go. A little snafu. We'll just start all over, and away you go. So 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can help us out and get in on that. All right. So there we go. Now let's talk a little hockey as we go in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings for solar, for residential or commercial. They do it all at actionelectrical.net. I'm Chuck from Oilers Nation. Oilers Nation every day joins us. Ty, how you doing?
Good. I was just crunching the numbers on that golf package. I'm like, okay, so you get that many. Oh, wow. And the day when Kevin is taking care of it. I mean, come on. If Terry's paying for the beers. Whew.
Oh, yeah. The beers and the food, everything else. Oh, it's a good time. So it's a lot of fun. So anybody who likes golfing, you get a lot of golfing rounds in and you get a lot of chirping. So it'll be loads of fun. So, and it's for charity. It's for the Brightview Elementary breakfast program, which is great. So there you go. If you want in, you can text in 833-401-1440 or call Connor. There you go. Now, Ty, last night, the Oilers played well in a lot of areas, defensively for sure. And offensively, I know everyone's like, oh, yeah, Wallstedt was great. I don't know if he was great. I look at the chances afterwards from Clear Sight Analytics, 4 high danger, 4 mid-danger chances. Like, their best chance might have been the Ekholm chance, to be honest, where he had him beat and just, from kind of his spot where he loves to walk in at the top of the circle and go high, far side, and he had him, and he just missed. They were good, but really great defensively, but still offensively, I thought they were just kind of okay.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Like, again, how many jaw-dropping saves were there from Jesper Wallstedt last night? It wasn't a ton. I do think the Oilers just, again, had to be a touch more aggressive. Like, there was the play when McDavid tried to, flutter a backhander through a bit of traffic to Zach Hyman back door. And it's like, okay, just try shoot that one. You're Connor McDavid. Try find a hole on the goalie. And, like, you're right there in front of the blue paint. Like, take the shot. And I understand that, Connor McDavid is a pass-first guy. But there were just a few too many instances where I just felt like they were okay trying to generate from the perimeter, and they weren't trying to get it to, or they weren't doing a good enough job, I should say, of getting the puck to dangerous areas. So that was it last night. I mean, they couldn't beat him. You mentioned the one shot. Ekholm got past him and hit the post. On the flip side, Stuart Skinner got beat once in that game, and it didn't hit the post. It went in, and that's the difference. So in a vacuum, I understand why, in a vacuum, I like that effort from the Edmonton Oilers. I think they can build on it. With the context of how the last month's gone, I can understand why some fans are frustrated with the loss. But still, I think this is a team that over the last 5-6 games, they've put together more good efforts than bad efforts, I think.
Yes, Florida was good. Tampa Bay was pretty good. Dallas was obviously a nightmare. But last night overall, yeah, pretty solid. I crunched the numbers on Connor McDavid, and I watched his. Not watched. I was standing right there talking to him after the game, and he was like, the Oilers have played well and lost games before. They were annoyed last night. I think they felt like and probably because you had a 6-on-4 power play for 40 seconds to end the game and you didn't get a shot on goal, right? Like I could tell, I think they were a little irked with parts of their game. And McDavid admitted that, I passed up some chances coming right down the pipe, looking for a pass rather than a shot. I've looked at his numbers. His shot totals are down because his missed shots are way up. And he has more turnover. Like his career high in giveaways is 89. He's on pace for 125 right now. Like their puck management, he seems to be a guy, even though he's fifth in NHL scoring, for his level, there seems to be a little frustration at times.
And honestly, I think the frustration might be a blessing in disguise because it might lead to them simplifying it. Like I'm thinking back to that game against Seattle on Saturday when it was a similar story through the early portions of that game than what we saw against Minnesota, where I was kind of sitting there going, okay, it's enough passes around the perimeter. It's enough, seam pass across the zone that's not going to a dangerous area. Like the puck movement's great, but if it's not leading to anything, if there's no substance behind it, if you're not trying to find a guy in a dangerous spot, it means nothing. And then what did you get? The goal that kind of helped them pull away there. Leon Draisaitl just walked into the slot and wired one past Joey Decord. And I think, or I'm hoping maybe, and for the sake of this Oilers offense, that if Connor and Leon are maybe both a little bit frustrated with all this zone time, it's not leading to good opportunities, maybe that leads to them simplifying it and being like, you know what, enough of trying to seam it and have it go off a skate or have the goalie make a great save. Like just walk in and rip the thing every once in a while. And listen, I can't stand when the crowd starts doing the shoot thing on the power play. They're doing it on one of the power plays yesterday, and I wanted to rip my hair out. But sometimes you just do need to walk in and rip the puck and trust that you're Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You've both gotten, 60 goals and close to 60 goals in an NHL season. You're one-shot scorers. You can do it. So maybe the frustration will end up being a blessing in disguise is kind of my whole point.
Yeah, it's possible. It could for sure. Man, do the Oilers miss Jack Roslovic right now and Kasperi Kapanen? Like because that would push some guys down. Because right now, man, like their third and fourth line are giving them a whole lot of nothing 5-on-5. Like I know, hey, Clattenburg scored a goal, awesome for him in his 4 games, but you're looking at Henrique, I think is 20 games without a goal, 5-on-5. Mangiapane has 1 in his last 19. Frederick has 1. He's got 2 on the season in 27 games. Janmark doesn't have a goal, 5-on-5. Lazar has 1, and that came late in that game against New Jersey when the game was over. Like they really need some guys here to get scoring.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, hey, when they needed a little bit of toughness, they had Connor Clattenburg come up to the NHL, and he gave them some jam and some toughness and a little bit of identity in that bottom 6. Maybe they look down to Bakersfield again. I mean, I don't watch every single Bakersfield Condors game, but reading people who do, Quinn Hudson's looking good. Ruby Jarventi's got 8 goals in 14 games. Maybe there's a swap to be made here. And similar to how you needed a spark in the physicality department and a young, hungry Connor Clattenburg came up and gave it to you, maybe a young, hungry Quinn Hudson or Ruby Jarventi can come up and give a little bit of scoring and a little bit of offense to this bottom 6, because right now it's not good enough. And last time I was on with you, I talked about how the 5-on-5 numbers with Connor and Leon off the ice aren't good enough or have been putrid through 6 weeks of the season, and they're not exactly getting all that much better, even though the Oilers at least aren't getting scored on. But they need to find a way to generate some offense. Like last night, hey, a goal from the bottom 6, who knows what happens, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, goal from anybody would have been would have been nice for sure. When would you play Pickard on this homestand?
I think I want to go right back to Stu on Thursday. Back-to-back really solid performances, and as much as you maybe don't want to burn him out, I sit there and go, let's keep playing a hot hand. I would look at Saturday night against the Winnipeg Jets on home ice. I think that'd be an okay spot after you've given a handful in a row to Skinner. Crowd should be good on a Saturday night. Pickard is a goalie who's, stepped up in some big moments for you. I don't know. Saturday seems fine to me. I wouldn't hate it, I guess, if it's tomorrow, because you do have the 2 days off after that Winnipeg game. So maybe you don't want Stuart Skinner going 4 straight days without any game action. But I don't know. One of these next 2 would be fine with me. I honestly don't think it really matters now that I kind of think through it all.
Well, I think I would do it Saturday against Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The Jets' 6th game in 9 days. They will be the second half of a tough back-to-back. And they're not playing very well right now, right? So that's the game where I look and say, plus it's kind of in the middle, right? Skinner, I'd like Skinner to get in, like he's played 2 in a row. I see no reason for it. Like, there's no way you can take him out tomorrow, right? The way he's playing, like that'd be foolish. And heck, if he plays that well again, then maybe he even plays again on the Jets. And then, you know what? Then you give him the game off against the Sabres possibly.
Yeah, he has. I mean, so he got yanked obviously in the game against Dallas. So he started Florida, Dallas, Seattle, and then the one last night against Minnie. So it's been a while since you've given Calvin Pickard like a true start where he knows waking up in the morning, like I'm playing in the game tonight. But the other side of it too, like as much as Pickard was great his last start against the Tampa Bay Lightning, there's still a part of me that's a little bit uneasy when you look at those season-long numbers. They're not very good. So if you're the Oilers and you're in this spot where you know every time there's a bad game from one of your goalies, you know what the narratives are. You know what the outside noise is going to be, and you know what your two goalies are going to be thinking. Like they're not dumb. They know all of everything that's going on this year. They know that Connor Ingram is sitting down in Bakersfield. Maybe you just, like you said, keep with Skinner tomorrow on Thursday, ride the hot hand. And again, if Skinner has a bad game tomorrow, there's probably not that much noise because it's like, hey, he's played good for a few in a row now. He had a dud against Seattle, whatever, you move on, then it's an easy choice to play Pickard on Saturday. So yeah, that was my first instinct. And I think it's right. Keep the hot hand tomorrow. Go Pickard on Saturday.
Mangiapane has he's really struggled the last 6 weeks. 19 games, no goals, 5-on-5. He's been on the ice for 21 goals against in 19 games. And it's not like he's a huge minute eater. Like he's not winning a ton of battles. He's minus 13 just at 5-on-5 in that 13 game span. Like he is not helping them right now.
No, and I thought it was pretty telling in that game against Dallas when obviously they got absolutely smoked and Frederick got hurt, so he was down at like 5 minutes, and then the next guy up in terms of least minutes was Andrew Mangiapane. I thought maybe he was a little bit better yesterday. The thing that's frustrating with me is one, a lot of plays, like a lot of passes seem to just jump off his stick. I'm trying to remember the correct game. It might have been early on in that game against Dallas where Edmonton had a chance for a 2-on-1 and the puck hit Mangiapane's stick on the breakout and like boom, right off him. Other team's defenseman back the other way the play went. So a lot of plays dying on his stick, and you would imagine that's really, really frustrating, not just for him, but like, you know, he's playing on a line with Leon Draisaitl, and you know, Draisaitl does a lot of work, gets the puck into the zone, finds Mangiapane, and it's fumbled, and now again the chance is kind of gone and the play's gone back the other way. So I didn't hate him against Minnesota last night. I thought it was actually one of his better games over the last few weeks, and the on-ice numbers were really good. Granted, they were really good for a lot of players in that hockey game, but he needs to be better. And another thing that frustrates me with him, early in the season when he scored those 2 quick goals to begin the year, they were beautiful shots. Like that one he scored in the opener was a bullet. And then it felt like after that for 3 weeks, I didn't see him shoot the puck. He has a good shot. I wish he'd trusted a little bit more, but I'm sure he's a vet. He knows that. It's probably a bit of a crisis of confidence where once he gets rolling and he's, you know, comfortable using that shot a little bit more, the numbers will come. But for right now, I mean, he's right up there in terms of the frustrating parts of these struggles for the Oilers.
Yeah, no question. Give me your thoughts on the Jays, their most recent addition, and where do you think Barrios gets traded?
Yeah, the Barrios thing kind of sucks. Hey, it fizzled out with him this season. He was so durable early on, not just in his major league career, yes, in his Blue Jays tenure, like every year he's good for 30 starts. So I'll be honest, I'd be hesitant to move a guy like that at really low value. I think next year, if he's slotting in as your number 5 with expectations low, yes, he kind of, whether he got hurt or they shut him down because, you know, it was just the play was too bad and he was frustrated, whatever it was, he got some time off at the end of the year. So a healthy, recharged Jose Barrios next year actually would kind of intrigue me. Trading a guy when his value's at his low, it's never a great idea. And I like Cody Ponce. I think the numbers are really, really good. I think he's a swingman, though. He's someone who you kind of have slotted in as your 6th or 7th starter who's a long man out of the bullpen or whatever he could become. Like, I don't think you can be penciling him in as your number 5 starter to begin next year. So I'm actually in the camp that I'm not totally sold they're going to trade Jose Barrios. If they do, I think you're just looking at a big budget team who's going to bank on a bit of a bounce back. The Angels are probably willing to spend a little bit this year. Maybe they would look at that. They're going to struggle to attract free agents. Do they view Barrios as like, hey, we'll take the money because we believe in the upside? It'll end up being a team like that. If they do end up moving him. A better question would be, if they move off of Barrios, do they reopen a conversation about Chris Bassett maybe coming back in that late sort of 5th starter slot? Because he's a guy, I think he's a perfect 5th starter for this team because he was so effective out of the bullpen in the playoffs. If you could trade Barrios and it means you bring back Chris Bassett, I'd be pretty open to that. A guy who can be a starter in the regular season, come playoff time, it's an easy conversation of, You're in the twilight days of your career. You'll do anything to win. He's not going to moan and pout because you put him in the bullpen. He did a good job for you this year. So again, I'd be hesitant to move Barrios, but if it means Bassett can come back, I'd be open to it.
Don't you think Ponce is going to be their number 5 starter?
I don't think they're locking him in at number 5. I mean, he had good numbers in the KBO, won the MVP, obviously, 12.9 Ks per 9 innings. But I view him more as like what they were thinking Yariel Rodriguez was going to be when they signed him a few years ago. He'll come in, he'll fight for that 5th spot. He'll maybe be the 6-7 starter. Like, you need 6 or 7 starters to get you through a major league season. I think they'll have him in that competition, but I don't think they're gifting him a spot at all.
Okay. It's good. It'd be very interesting to see what they do. And what about Bo Bichette? With all this movement, what do you think happens to him?
I was reading Keegan Matheson's latest article on it today, and Keegan, who is, I mean, the Blue Jays reporter, he seemed pretty optimistic. He made it sound like the Jays are going to be right there financially in terms of bidding for Bo Bichette, and he outlined it. The way he phrased it was like the Jays have the tiebreaker. If they're willing to match the dollar value that Bo Bichette gets anywhere else, he would like to come back. He would like to try win with Vladdy. He would want to win in Toronto. So, I mean, I had a pipe dream early in the offseason that maybe he'd be willing to take a shorter term deal with some opt-outs and try to put together a fully healthy year. But it seems like he wants to cash in right now, which I don't blame a guy for taking the guaranteed money in baseball. But Keegan seemed optimistic that this thing could get done. So if he's optimistic and the Jays are truly opening up the checkbook and trying to bring back not a super team, but give themselves a real, true, authentic shot of running back for the World Series, it feels like it's a possibility. And that's not something I thought I'd be saying a few months ago. So yeah, if the interest is mutual and the Jays are financially ready to go, no reason why Bo Bichette shouldn't be a Blue Jay next year.
Be interesting to see. Ty, have yourself a good one, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Riggs.
That's Tyler Remchuk from Oilers Nation. Oilers Nation, yeah, exactly. And Bo Bichette, that would be good. Ryan is in. He's at $1,600 on the Dirks package and $1,000 on the golf. So update both when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Feel a cold coming on? Reach for Oregano 8. With 8 powerful immune boosters like oregano oil, garlic, elderberry, and vitamin C, it delivers fast, effective relief. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Carius to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
It's the biggest game of the season. The Edmonton Oil Kings Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick.
Family Fun Sunday, December 7th. Bring your new stuffed bears to the game, and when the Oil Kings score their first goal, the fur will fly onto the ice.
Help Santa's Anonymous collect thousands of bears this holiday season for families in need.
See the Oil Kings in their special Teddy Bear Toss-themed jerseys as they face the Prince Albert Raiders.
Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick. 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon at Rogers Place.
Limited seats remain. Great family entertainment starts at just $20 a seat at oilkings.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
347. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Wednesday afternoon as the Oilers tomorrow. Seattle. They will try to get back on the winning track. Steve, man, they got to get on a roll at some point, don't you think? If not, it's going to be a frustration city for the Oilers. They were frustrated last night after that game. And most of the offensive guys were, because I think they felt like, yeah, we had the puck a lot, but we didn't generate as much as we would like. And we'll see if they can improve on that against Seattle tomorrow night. A team who does not generate a ton. Like time of possession, that should easily favor the Oilers. And we'll see if they can create some more chances. Now, you know what? Doesn't matter how you start. It's all how you finish. Just like in the month of giving. So we got 2 packages today. And as long as we get to face value, that's always the goal all the time, because then I know kind of what we're raising for charity, which is fantastic. So get both these packages up. We have the golf package at the Ranch Golf and Country Club, currently at $1,000. You get 10 rounds of golf at the ranch, a power card for each one, driving range, etc. Then another day, 2 of your buddies will go tee it up with their head pro, Sean Percy, take you around the course, teach you all the secrets about it, to give you some on-course instruction you like, and take care of lunch and beverages, etc. Then on another day, you and a buddy will go tee it up with Murray McCourt and Carius from Sports 1440. You'll hear about how great he used to be, which would be a lot of fun. You can, if you're a Hawks or a Cowboys fan, you can complain about your team with Murray, because he's a fan of both of those teams, or chirp him, probably even better. And those 2 will get off their wallet. They have a lot of fun in that one. So it's a great time if you like golf. Basically have tons of fun all summer long at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Man, they did all the rentals there. It looks unreal. So that'll be fun. That's a bargain right now at $1,000. Package number 2 currently at $1,500. And obviously not at face value. It's the made-to-measure experience of Mr. Dirk. You get $1,500 in 2 outfits that are handpicked by Sterling Dirk. Very good stylist. Knows what stuff. He'll make you look real good. Suits, blazers, shoes, jeans, you name it, put it together, the whole package. Then you get an additional $500 to spend in a GC on anything you like, ties, accessories, pockets, squares, you know what, whatever you like. They got so many different unique things for your wardrobe in Mr. Dirk. All of the tailoring. So any of the clothes you buy, if you get a suit, blazer, you know what, you got to change the sleeves, pants, whatever, hem stuff. All of the tailoring costs are included on top of that, money. And then you get an in-store consultation with Sterling. He'll help you go through your closet and ensure you got everything you need. So that's currently at $1,500. So both undervalued. So let's get them up here. 833-401-1440. We're helping out the Brightview Elementary breakfast program today, which is it's amazing what they do just to get kids the opportunity to have a meal. Sometimes their only meal, 2 meals of the day. So it's a fantastic thing that they do, and you can help them out. Let's get to 5 questions while we wait for the bids to come in. Brought to you by The Brick, where our Black Friday pricing continues on right now at The Brick, where you can save up to $1,000 off of sectionals. You get $800 off big screen TVs. Maybe you want a Christmas present for yourself. 30% off all furniture at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason. Earlier today on Fantasy Frenzy, I must say, I was blown away by the people that were mad about Stuart Skinner's 1 goal allowed in the first period. So my question for you, if you were placing blame on individual players the Oilers lost last night, where would you have Stuart Skinner on that list?
Well, I don't think I'd put anybody on the list. Like, they lose 1-0. The Oilers didn't play bad last night. It's a high screen that's slightly deflected off of someone. I don't blame the goalie. And, do you blame the centerman for losing the face-off cleanly? Probably not. I would just say the offense, I don't believe, for the amount of possession and shots that they had, I don't believe they generated enough quality chances. So I'll just say offense as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier on today. It's a 1-0 game. It's in the first period. He didn't give up the next one. You were 1 shot away and you couldn't get a goal. So it was a 1-0 loss to a good team. The goalie was playing very good. I think if the Oilers were sitting, higher up in the Pacific standings, fans would just say, "Oh, it's 1 game. They played good. It's all right." Circumstances surrounding them make that a little bit different. But yeah, I can't throw the blame on number 74 this time. Question number 2 for you. Looks like the wheels are in motion for a potential trade out of Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where do you think would be a good landing spot for the Greek Freak?
Ooh, it's a good question. I heard Declan talking about the Spurs, and obviously that would, that would make a lot of sense. There's lots of teams that could use them. Do those teams have the pieces to make it work? I would say, what would be unreal is if they found a way in Denver to get him.
There's so many fun potential places.
That's a team, like, if Denver is going to beat OKC, they need more than one. And as good as Jokic is, they don't have enough after him, because you got Jokic, sure, but you got OKC superstar is pretty damn good himself, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So the number 2 through number 5 are just way better in OKC. So I think that's where Denver has to improve. But I just don't know if they have enough to do it.
It's funny because you look at team, how much it would cost. I threw the question to Declan. He said 5 first-round picks. The OKC Thunder have 6 first-round picks in the next 2 years.
Yeah, but they don't need him.
No, of course,
because they don't really. As crazy as it sounds, like, they're 21-1. They don't really need him. Like, look at their depth, look at their scoring, look at their length, their size, their defending as a team. Like, yeah, it's funny. Their team is so solid that they don't need Antetokounmpo.
Rare to say, and Declan informs me you can't trade first in multiple years, so back-to-back years consecutive. I want him to stay out east. The West is so loaded. I'd like to see him in a big market, so I'm going to say the New York Knicks. That would be the spot, I suppose, for me.
All right.
Question number 3 for you. You're Chris Paul. You're in your final NBA season, and you're released by the Clippers early in the morning. If you're him, what would be your next step here?
Well, I'm guessing he might have asked for this release, probably a mutual parting of the ways. I don't know. I've never really been the biggest Chris Paul fan. I think he's good. Never thought he was great. And now, is he going to help you win? I don't think so. So, what Chris Paul needs to go to a team where he can come off the bench. Because if he's your starter, then you're not a championship caliber team.
I'd agree. I mean, he's chasing a ring, I'd be calling OKC. You guys need a player coach? Can I just be a part of the guy water boy?
Like, if I look at the teams, like, who really needs him? OKC doesn't need him.
A lot of teams don't need him. No.
Yeah.
For what he is now.
Like honestly, I don't know. You'll probably get him for cheap. I guess the Spurs, if they wanted to, maybe. But I don't see a lot of teams that would really benefit hugely from what Chris Paul's like a depth guy right now.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Chris Paul, I'm probably just waiting. Just see what happens. Stay ready, stay in the gym a little bit, and then if an opportunity arises, go for it. But I wouldn't be rushing to do anything, and I wouldn't be looking at any non-contending teams because if I'm him, I want that championship finally. Question number 4 for you. World Cup draw this Friday in DC. Is there one team you'd really like to see Canada play this summer?
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, for a lot of soccer fans, football, mind you, we probably haven't had too many times to cheer for Canada on the men's side at the world stage. It's kind of a new thing. So for a long time, I always cheered for England. So Canada, England, seeing them meet at some point would be cool. But also Spain, why not go after the top team? See how you really look. That'd be also very cool.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm looking at it. Okay. Are we talking like early on? Because I'm like, I want Canada to have an easy draw so they can get into the next round, right? Selfishly, that's what I want. So, like Jamaica, even though I know they played them lots. So what about maybe, hey, take on Bolivia, right? So honestly, now if we're getting into later on, like, I don't know, Canada is going to be hard pressed against some of the top teams, no question. I might go with like if I was picking a team, then I would say the Netherlands.
That'd be good. You want the opposite of the group of death. You want the group of life for Canada to advance on.
100%. Like early on, like what the hell do you want? Hey, we're in the group of death. Oh, awesome. Why? So you have low chance of getting out? That makes no sense. No one wants to be in the group of death.
No, maybe you're the elite team in it.
And I'm not even sure there'll be one this year, the way it's going, right? Because you only have to play. You only get 2 guaranteed games this year, not 3.
I'm sure we'll crown someone group of death just to keep the tradition going. Final question for you is on this day in 1991, Hulk Hogan defeated The Undertaker at this Tuesday in Texas at Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio to become the 4-time WWF champion. In all your wrestling viewing, what would you say your favorite all-time matches?
Go ahead.
Take me back to WrestleMania 13. It was Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. Stone Cold has said on the record that he doesn't think he'd be as popular as he was without the beef with Bret the Hitman Hart, friend of the show. So they had a good matchup. It was a no disqualification matchup between the two, and Bret Hart won. So that's the one I'll go with.
That was the double. Is that the one they call the double turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No disqualification submission. Ken Shamrock, special guest ref.
Yeah. To me, if you want to go way back, there was a Macho Man, Ricky the Steamboat match. I want to say like WrestleMania, 2, 3, or 4. I don't memorize the WrestleMania ones, but Ricky the Steamboat was highly entertaining, man. So that's the one I remember. And then there was another one, a Hell in the Cell match between Mankind and Undertaker. That was in the late 90s. I don't remember one year. Like, might have been, trying to think. So, well, I think it was 97, if I'm not mistaken, 97 or 98. And it was just like, God, it was a bloodbath, man. And it was like, it was kind of like the early start of like the real, what you'd call like a lot of blood and kind of more violent matches that you would see.
The Attitude Era.
Yeah.
That was when he threw him off the cage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mankind, man, some of those guys just laying it on the line, just
dude,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Shane McMahon, even. The guy was like the heir to the company. What? He didn't have to do the things he did.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a good one for sure. So Gregor, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was WrestleMania 3. All right. Thanks, James. I was close. I knew it. So I had it early on. Couldn't remember what year, but yeah, that was a pretty big match. We'll take a break. The business of sport comes up on the other side. And also, okay, we got 2 hours left. We're going to finish a little bit stronger. We're going to have face value on our 2 packages. We'll get to that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to our Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. If you've been putting off your tire change, don't. Fountain Tire is up to 15% off select tires right now. Roll in, save big, and drive out ready for whatever the season throws at you. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Devils hosting the Stars. Jets take on the Canadiens. Sabres and Flyers. Ducks in Mammoth, and the Capitals in San Jose for a matchup with the Sharks in the association. Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future, discussing whether his career is best to stay in Milwaukee or go elsewhere. A resolution expected in the upcoming weeks, while NBA vet Chris Paul has been waived by the LA Clippers. On the court tonight, you got the Cavs and Trailblazers, Nuggets in Indiana, Magic host the Spurs, Clippers taking on the Hawks, Bulls, Nets, Kings, Rockets, Bucks host the Pistons, and the Heat in Dallas. PWHL action tonight, Vancouver and Boston taking on the Fleet. That one gets going in just over an hour. And at the collegiate level, basketball, Minnesota hosting number 22, Indiana at 5. You've also got number 6, Louisiana taking on number 25, Arkansas, and number 9, BYU hosting California Baptist at 7. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by longtime NHL player agent Rich Winter for another edition of the Business of Sport, as well as Tyler Smith. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off a $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win.
Fuck,
for you
welcome
and
back,
your
Jason Gregor,
project.
Connor.
Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, the OG of lotteries, Lotto 649, $36 million. The original Jarrett Stoll, Sean Horkoff jersey number. Accepted millions at PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets. Good luck. Jean or Jean, I'm not sure which one, Jean or Jean, either way, in at 1750 now on our Mr. Dirk expenses. Jean, okay, good. So Jean is in at 1750. Still a steal of a deal on our golf package, only $1,000. So let's get up all the rounds of golf at the ranch. And then you're going with the head pro, Sean Percy, with your buddies, and then another day you're going Carius and Murray McCourt. So let's get that one up. It's currently at Ryan has it. Ryan in a trailer actually has it at $1,000. So you can get in at 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Time now to get to our business of sports. Rich Winter joins us once again. Rich, how you doing, my man?
Good today, really good. Not loving this weather that much in Edmonton, but other than that, I guess we can't complain. It's been it's good for a long time.
It has
on the
been
road
really
again, so heading out to Vancouver. So just about to grab a flight. So glad I could catch each other.
All right, perfect. We were, you mentioned the weather. It's funny because I talked to a player the other day who's playing in a sunny market. He never played in a sunny market, and he's just like, man, he goes, it's different because every day is like Groundhog Day. You get up, the weather's nice, it's very relaxing. You're tan, you're walking. He said, but there's a challenge. He said, it doesn't feel like I'm playing in a hockey place. So yeah. I'm sure you've had agents on both sides. Like, God, I don't love the winter, but man, my kids love it when there's an ODR. Like there's pros and cons to everything. Dealing with players when they go to a new team, because you can talk about it. You can do your research and talk to the coach and every player's, oh, we like it here or there. But then you move there and maybe you're in a different neighborhood or something else. How much, if any, work does the agent have to do on adjusting players to a new team?
None, really. I mean, but you do hear a lot of interesting comments, very seldom negative when they're in their flip-flops and shorts on the way through the parking lot at practice in Florida. But it's also been interesting. I remember when Peter Sikora was traded here from New Jersey, and he played in New Jersey, he played in Anaheim, and he just said he loved it here. He said, Rich, it's unbelievable. I'm gassing up my car. And he's going,
go.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I said, so he's gassing up his car, and they're going, hey, Pete, good luck tonight, buddy. He said for him, who'd been playing in non-traditional hockey markets where he could barely get noticed, like he really enjoyed that, Okay. So I think it's just depends on the player. It depends on the market. I think there's a lot of fear and concern when players go into markets like Toronto and Montreal, where the media attention. I remember Marian Hossa. We had got permission from Ken Holland after he got that 1-year deal and turned down an awful lot of money to play with the guys he'd always dreamed to play. And it was from Lidstrom and Zetterberg and Datsuk and them. And we got permission to talk to Chicago early, or anybody we wanted. We did a deal with Chicago. But on July 1st, early morning, he calls me and says, I've been thinking, am I making the right decision? I said, well, Marian, we're a little bit late because they traded Havlat. They've committed all this money. And but he said, I've been thinking about it. The idea of being in a market like Tampa, who was really hot on the trail, no media, pretty relaxed environment. It's pretty appealing. You don't think we should just take a look out the window at free agency? And of course, he couldn't at that stage because we decided. But it's just interesting how many. It's tough for players, especially when you're talking about free agents. You hear more trades you don't hear much about, because you got no control over that, right? But when you've made a decision and you've made a choice, you'll hear more about that. Boy, this turned out fantastic, And but it's very difficult for these guys because they start balancing weather, winning, location, where I'm going to play, where my family's located, who am I going to play with, and there's just a lot of dynamics that goes into it. These guys have never had a choice, from basically the age of 4. You play here, you can't play there. a little bit change in the college with the portal rule changes. But other than that, there's just been no freedom. And so it's really tough on them, but I don't think I've ever really had any problems, just reflections. Can't believe I did it. It's so friggin' cold here, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, there'll be days where it's colder, days where maybe
right.
complain about being too hot for sure. But when you're in the free agency period, and now you look around as an agent, Rich, and lots of the top guy, everybody seems to be signing, and there's more money available. So there's maybe less negotiation, like, hey, you know what, geez, we're going to grind the guy down 250 or 500K. They're like, okay, you know what, we want to keep him. Okay, we'll do it. The player's like, you know what, whatever. I could go to free agent market and make an extra maybe 250 or not, and I don't know if I'm going to like it. They all seem to be staying there. So do you think that trend is going to continue, or do you think we'll get back to where there'll be more guys testing the free agent waters? Like if you were a middle tier player and you had a good year, like to me, I'm like, you got only one shot. Isn't now the time to go to free agency? Because all the guys with big money, and some teams are dying to get money, like a Kiefer Sherwood. I would think Kiefer Sherwood is a unicorn. He should test free agency.
Yeah, well, I think it depends on, you're living in Las Vegas, you like it, weather's good, you like your teammates, we generally have been winning, good organization. The thing that comes into play that teams, I don't understand why teams wait longer, because here's what happens. If you got a player, you just got offered 8 by 10, and you think you're worth 9, you think you're worth 11 by 10 or 12 by 10, but you're sitting there and you're coming home and you're talking to your father and he's saying, but Jason, man, you get hurt. You just kissed away $100 million. So that gap of a year between when you can sign and when your actually contract ends, it's a really difficult pressure point for the family if they like it. Now, on the other hand, you look at situations like Quinn Hughes. What's he going to do? We saw that all play out with Connor here. And I think if it's a comfortable environment, what are you gaining? Yeah, we might win the Stanley Cup, but we might not. I mean, how many guys win it, right? So the money's good, the taxes are good, the weather's good. It's an 8-year deal. The money's insane. I like my teammates. My wife really loves women in the wives' room. A lot of our kids hang out together. There's just so many factors that go into it. I think you're going to see it more and more and more. But the teams that are going to still be challenged will be the Canadian teams, will be Columbus, will be places that aren't on your, the ones that typically find their way onto the no trade list. They're still going to be challenged.
Yeah. What if you become a winning team, though? Doesn't that change it a lot? Because guys like, man, we're winning. And that's more fun, especially guys who have been in the league 7+ years. They grind it out. They haven't gotten close. They're like, dude, my career's now, like, I'm sure after that 7-year mark for lots of players, they're like, hey, I might be on the back half of my career. Now, the elite guys are different. They don't start maybe until year 11 on the back half of their career.
Yeah.
But have you found that players after, okay, I've been in the league now a while and I'm pretty comfortable. I like it here, but I haven't really been close to winning. Like making the playoffs is one thing and winning a round is one thing, but close is like at least getting to the conference final or ultimately to the Stanley Cup final, right? And lots of guys just don't get there, Rich. Like the NHL had that number of guys who've even won the cup or never mind even played in the Stanley Cup final. And the list is pretty damn small compared to the amount of guys who play. So do you think that will ultimately change, or is comfort trump winning?
No, I think winning, but it has to be the probability of winning, right? I mean, look right now, who do you pick to win this year?
Yeah, Colorado, Dallas would be up there for sure. But I still
got
two.
But see, that's the issue. There's 2 or 3. Now, what ends up happening is we can talk about this in the abstract, but Dallas and Colorado don't usually have a spot, right?
Yeah,
so
well, one of them they're going to have to face each other in the second round.
Yeah. So who in the East? Well, Toronto's in 14th. That they're 4 points out of second or what? I mean, everything's so tight there. So I think it just depends on how comfortable. And I think people don't realize how winning is really important, right? If you haven't won and you haven't been in the playoffs and you have no prospect and you've got a team there, you go high probability be in conference finals. Yeah, it's going to be a big factor, but there's too many factors that come into play. There's just not that many times where the probability of winning is so high compared to the absolute absence of winning probability on the other side. So I would say, financials are big, but like I think when you're not winning, you're not in a great environment, You're not in a great tax environment. Yeah, in those cases, they'll chase it all. But they're not you. Yeah, they like to win. But I mean, Michael Rosal, I remember him said to me one year after, he's very close friends with Marian Hossa, after Marian made that decision to hang out for a year and do what he did and then go chase winning. Rosie said, look, I've made like 30, 40 million bucks. Like, I don't need money. So I'll do what Hoss did. So Stan Bowman will have on at some point and tell the story. I mean, we fought and argued all summer about why that they should sign Rosie. And he eventually said, he took his team his scouts didn't want to sign Rosie. Can't skate, can't play anymore. Doesn't have what it takes anymore. Despite the fact he's not many better in the league when he played than in terms of getting a pass from the goal line to hitting a guy at center ice. So finally Stan bought in and Rosie waited all year. I remember going to his house to visit in the Czech Republic in the summer, and they had all these little framed names of the cities that they played in, like Swift Current, New York, Phoenix. And then he had a blank one at the bottom with question marks. And he waited until September 15th to find a winner. We looked at the market and we thought the only two places that would give him a spot, a good spot where he could contribute and play and have a chance to win were Detroit and Chicago. And on the literally hours before the lockout started, Stan Bowman called and signed him. And Rosie, unbeknownst to or surprising to everybody else who passed on him, said he couldn't play. Only played 4 more years and won 2 cups. So guess there was still a little bit in the tank, but that was a real example. I remember my wife was with me and we got Rosie and Yana were in their house and Cindy's like, oh my gosh, aren't you feeling a little pressure? And I said, well, not really, because Rosie made the decision that we're going after the win. We turned down a lot of teams. And so there are cases where they just really want it. You wouldn't think Michael Rosal, I've probably never met him. Jason may have talked to him, but very quiet, understated guy, but wants to win, has that fire, and he made the decision and almost lost the opportunity to play at all.
Yeah, but it worked out for sure for him. We'll take a quick break. When we come back in the business of sport, we're going to talk about the business of sport and on the mental side of it, which is an extremely important part. Tyler Smith will join us from Not Alone next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Trouble low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
At GS Construction, we focus on building a culture of collaboration, innovation, and respect.
Our teams work together, supporting one another and striving towards shared goals. We're committed to creating a work environment that empowers individuals, values teamwork, and ensures everyone feels respected and safe. With decades of experience in the field, GS Construction prioritizes our people, our culture, and safety. This is what makes us unique. To find out more, go to gsconstruction.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Feel a cold coming on? Reach for Oregano 8. With 8 powerful immune boosters like oregano oil, garlic, elderberry, and vitamin C, it delivers fast, effective relief. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Wednesday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Rich Winter, Connor Halley with you here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Also a reminder that month of giving continues on. We have different packages every day. And today, 2 great packages, both right now undervalued. So let's try to get that up. We always do it. The golf package is currently at $1,200 right now from Carl. And that's lots of rounds of golf at the ranch. You get 10 for yourself. Then you're going to go another day. You and 2 of your buddies tee it up with Sean Percy, their head pro. He'll buy you lunch and beverages, do some on-course instruction if you like. And then another day, you and a friend will have a little spirited match if you like against McCord and Kevin Carius here from Sports 1440. Those 2 sandbaggers will get off their wallet and treat you to a really fun day. Usually that match is always on a Sunday. Plan ahead. You'll have loads of fun. And Carl has that at a bargain right now, $1,200. Jean has package number 2. It is Mr. Dirks. You want to look good and look better. The ultimate made-to-measure experience. We get 2 outfits handpicked by Sterling, valued at $1,500. Usually it ends up being more than that, but don't worry. Sterling's a really generous dude. You know, from suits, blazers, shoes, shirt, everything, the whole ensemble that you will be looking good. As Rich Winter says, hey, look good, feel good. So you'll also get an additional $500 gift card to use on anything you like in store, ties, accessories, anything you need. All of your tailoring costs will be on top of that included, and you then get an in-store consultation with Sterling, fill out your wardrobe. So that's only at $1,750 right now from Jean, so let's get that one up as well. We're helping out the Brightview Elementary breakfast program. It's an unbelievable program to get kids just a simple thing like a meal. So they can, hey, we all know the studies. If you're full, you have a much better chance for your brain to grow and learn, and they can help out later on. So check it out. We got $1,200 on package 1 and only $1,750 on package 2. So if you want to get in, you can at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And the business of sport, there's lots of different ways to attract business and do different things. And probably the one element, we've heard it so much that, hey, 90% mental, 10% physical. And there's so much of that. And the Not Alone Foundation, which was started up by, of course, Tyler Smith, who was a survivor of the Humboldt crash 7.5 years ago now. It's crazy how time flies. And Tyler joins us now. Tyler, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Tyler, for you, Not Alone is it's a fantastic thing that you've decided on. And, I'm sure if we talked to Tyler Smith before the accident, you probably never would have thought something like this, right? You'd never dealt with trauma of any level, I wouldn't think. Well, definitely not to that level. So kind of take us through how your experience led you down this path to Not Alone.
Yeah, I think it's still an evolving thing, and I'm by no means a clothing expert. I think it's, the first, I went to Alice Embroidery, a local family owns a embroidery shop in Leduc where I'm from, and I went to them, and I just had an idea at the start. It was two simple phrases: "Not alone," and multicolored lettering, and "It's okay to not be okay." And I just said, "Can we slap this on a hoodie?" And this was at a time where I did start taking care of my own, stuff and my own trauma and what was going on. And I think I felt as though it started to get to a place where I could wear my vulnerability proudly. And I think it's still a tough thing to do, as much as I want people to, wear your stuff out and at the grocery store, at the movie theater, at the mall, whatever it is. I mean, it's still tough to go out and wear that. So I think for me, I made 3 originally. It was one for me, my brother, and my girlfriend. And a couple people were interested, a couple people were curious, and it's been good. I think the biggest thing is just helping facilitate the conversations. Like, by no means am I an expert on any of this, but I think it's it's pretty remarkable. I was in a elevator recently wearing one of the hoodies, and a random stranger walks in and says, "I love the hoodie." And it's interesting when you see a quote, you take that time to process that quote. I think it does force you to kind of like process a tough quote. And I think for me, "Not alone" is such a, universal quote that you can, kind of means different to everybody. But at the end of the day, I think, reminding yourself that you are not alone in your struggles is a powerful thing. So I think we're able to donate portions of the proceeds back to various charities and foundations. And I think that's something that, now after how much we received, how much love and support we received after the accident, I think, giving back is something that, I think I'll always be passionate about.
And it's, the clothing line is kind of one element of it, but, I know you've done a lot of guest speaking at events. And so, on how to handle grief and, so many different factors, survivor's guilt is a legitimate thing. And, especially I'm assuming for a young man where you're on a part of a team and everybody's together and you have such great memories of all these guys. And you're like, well, and I've read up on it and I've talked to some people about it. Like that's a legitimate thing. And like, so you say you're not an expert on it, but unfortunately you're well-versed in it, unlike lots of us who haven't had to deal with something like that. So kind of even talk a little bit about your journey of just even starting the conversation, especially for young men who aren't the best at really talking about their feelings. And sometimes it can be as a simple thing about, I'm not feeling confident today, or geez, I don't feel part of the team, or I don't feel like I'm helping out in the family, whatever it is. And how to get those conversations started.
Yeah, I think even still to that, like I've, very grateful to have done this over 250 times now to a wide variety of audience and communities and conferences. And I think, every interaction that you have with individuals after you share your story is something that, wow, like what a perspective shift that you get from individuals that you never thought get a perspective shift from. I mean, we're in Alberta, and Alberta, as many people know, it's oil and gas. It's tough. It's it's strong, and I'm the same way. I grew up, and I didn't really go through anything, and even still to this day, like I always joke that I have no idea what I'm doing. But I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of power in a story, and like a relatable, raw, authentic story. And I think every time I go up and speak to even like an oil and gas site, like Horizon site for CNRL, where it is, guys going up there working 1 week on, 1 week off, 2 on, 2 off, 12 to 16-hour days, away from their family, away from their people. And you're able to have like a conversation with these like, tough, put your work boots on, epitome of a man people. Like it really does go to show that unfortunately, we are struggling. And I'm like, I'm not saying that we're at like the best place in this world. And I think, by no means am I the guy that's going to be like, it is all rainbows, butterflies, and sunshine and lollipops. Like it's not. And I think, even learning that from, I think one of my biggest, contributors of like when I started to take care of my own stuff was like Carey Price and like DeMar DeRozan and like, the guys of the world that are like, have it all. And like the fact that they are struggling or might have something going on, it's just like, damn, like I think we just kind of open up the conversation that way of like, there's so much power in a story, and like there's so much power in just like starting. And by all means, I'm an advocate for the "how are you doing" question. I think it's a very valuable question, but sometimes we don't know how we're doing, and sometimes answering that honestly is a tough thing. So I think my biggest thing is leave it open ended. Make sure your people know that I don't know what you're going through, I don't know what's happening, but I want you to know that I will be here. And I think that's something that can really cultivate those cultures that. I think I don't know what an NHL locker room is like, but I think I know that, successful teams have that culture of listen, I'm going to be here and, whatever you need from me. And I think that's something that you build that foundation, and it's pretty remarkable what can come from it.
It's great what you're doing, Tyler, because it's really important to open the conversation, because there might be 6-8 guys in a room and they're all feeling the same way. And, I think Jelly Roll and some of the musicians lately who've come through very tough times, his recent hit, "I'm Not Okay." Bazzi did a thing, "I Don't Think I'm Okay." And I think we're starting to realize that it's important. We had a segment last year on love and how important it is to love your teammates, love and support each other. And I can't tell you how many conversations, Jason, I've had the last while with NHL GMs. I'll give you the short version of one. I'd been talking about it because he was wondering how to talk to one of my players, and I suggested how a little tap. He's a sort of a quiet guy. We all need that love and attention. And so I don't think Bill would mind me saying who it was. I was talking, and Bill Guerin says, so I'm on the phone, and you know how you let somebody go? You're about to hang up, but as you hung up, they're about to say something. So I called Billy back, and I said, Billy, sorry, man, I missed you. What you were gonna say something. He said, "Hey, Rich, I'm just going to tell you I loved you, man." And the one that freaked me out the most, I won't say who this was because I don't know if he would want me to tell, but we were just talking about how love and support, and these kids are really different times, lots of struggles, social media. And we started talking about the importance of love and support. And he quoted me a scripture. And I'm going, now this is a tough, hard-nosed player who's now a general manager. I'm going, man, I never saw that coming. And then when he had a conversation that lasted about 30 minutes about taking care of players and our responsibility, they're young men, they need support, we need to act as stewards. And it's like what you're doing is opening up that conversation. And I've started to do the same thing. And I'm surprised. There's more of us struggling than not. It's okay to be not okay. I don't think I'm okay. So what do I do? But if you can't ask that question, and I think that's what teams need and sports need to do. Yeah, you can have the team psychologist. Then no one buys into that. All the kids think that they're just going to rat on them to the team, even though they don't. But they have to find. I think that's why Brant Myers, Jason, who you know very well, was playing that role where these guys, they're struggling. They have no one to talk to. They're lonely. They're not playing well. They think they're going to get waived. Their wife's pregnant. I'm not okay, and it's okay not to be okay. And I think so. What you're doing is very important to give men the opportunity to say to each other, at least, "Hey, Jason, buddy, I'm not okay," and Jason would be there to help. But I've always told my clients and my friends, there's only one problem I know I can't help with. I guarantee I can't help with it. It's one you don't tell me about. Can't help you with that one. So it's really important what you're doing. So I think it's great.
I appreciate that, Rich. And I think once again, storytelling, I think, you use a relatable story from an individual that, you would never, I guess you would never attach that to, but I think even just like the "I love you" piece. And I don't know if it's because going through a traumatic event and, 7.5 years ago and losing so many amazing souls. But I think even still to this day, it's crazy what a little "I love you" or "I love you, brother" can do. And I think it's something that now I wouldn't say I have a whole new perspective on it. And I'm not saying that, you never know what happens tomorrow, but I'm saying I think that there's a lot of power in I'm proud of you and I love you.
Well,
and I think,
Tyler, it's a connection. I found myself I touch people a lot more than I ever used to in my life, whether it's looking them in the eye and put your hand on their shoulder and then talk to them. It's so compelling. And the one thing I've started doing really changed my experience traveling. I fist pump everybody. The guy at security. Yes, they're always smiling, because they're alone. They're maybe struggling. Their income level's not that great. It's Christmas coming. There's all kinds of things going on in their life. And someone just noticed they were there. And I think that, and of course, we feel better. You fist pump going through security and you get a big smile. Maybe you share a little bit of a joke. And you know what? My experience just changed. And I think that's missing now in this sort of very divergent world we live in. Look at each other and think about it, man. We're husbands, we're fathers, we're We're all struggling, you know, whether it's a general manager I talked to. Now, Baby Bill didn't love me that much because the Minnesota was here the last couple of nights, and I didn't get an invite for coffee or anything. But it's just nice to know that in my case, maybe I could have a more intimate conversation with a particular general manager about a player who's struggling, because he's open to that. But if you don't talk to him, you won't realize that, geez, that guy might have a soul too. I used to wonder if Glenn Sather had a heart, let alone a soul. But as I got to know him, he had both in a real big way, and he really cared about his players, you know. But that's something I got to know after, you know, having some very significant battles with Glenn and getting past that. But there's a lot of good people out there and a lot of men who need support. And I think it's great that Jason had you on and is having you on, and we're talking about these kind of things, because sports is a place where we think that, you know, we got to be pretty tough. You know?
Tyler, have you playing in that, you play junior hockey, and it's, we hear a lot about the hockey culture, and I understand, to me, it's more of a societal issue. When we got deeper, I that's my own opinion on it. I think hockey could be a leader for sure too, because a lot of people follow hockey, but in your path now, with the clothing company and doing the public speaking and everything, having survived Humboldt, have you noticed like a significant change? Like when you talk to guys now, maybe because of your experience, that automatically they're like, okay, like I'm going to listen to this guy because he's actually been through it. Like how much of an advantage do you think that's been? And have you found, men, you're talking about the CNRL sites and other places, are they more open even in the last few years as your speech and how you probably present it just becomes more natural to you than it was when you first started?
Yeah, and I think my biggest thing, my three things are like, and this goes to what Rich was talking about, is connection, conversation, and perspective, and reminding people that you have connections in your life that can lead to those meaningful conversations that can really open your perspective. And I think from that, if you are, I'm still stubborn too. Like it's funny, I go up and speak for 45 minutes to an hour, and I still sometimes struggle to book my next counseling appointment or to have the conversation with my wife. So there is, a balance that you have to try and find. But I think I go back to the relatability, and I go back to the fact that, I don't have a presentation, and I'm not there's speakers that have presentations that, the presentation helps them so much. But I think, for me as a 27-year-old kid that, has went through a fair amount in his life, I think me not coming up there with the end all be all, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. I think reminding people that there's no right or wrong way to do this. And we are on a journey. And I think just being able to, offer that and hopefully, it is a tough topic, but by no means do I want it to be a damper. By no means, sometimes people cry, and that's okay. Sometimes we need an emotional release, but I think reminding people that you can, difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. And, it's crazy what can happen when you do start to, take care of yourself and start to actually take those steps and reflect on the fact that, what works for you. I mean, for what works for me is not going to work for every single person. And, now I coach 12 to 13-year-olds, and it's fascinating what you can learn from a 12 to 13-year-old nowadays, because, I'm only 27. So that's only 15 years from where they are, but it's changed so much. And I go back to, being proud. And I think now kids nowadays really do need recognition and validation and reassurance. And it's funny because I always joke that I think we all need it, but I mean, it's hard to go to your boss or go to, somebody around you and be like, hey, can you validate me? Can you say that you're proud of me? But, with the kids nowadays, with everything that's going on, the expectations, the pressures, the social media, I think you'd be surprised at how much a little, I'm proud of you. And you are allowed to make a mistake. Please, by all means, I want you to go out and sometimes fail. And I think that really does a tribute to life. We suck at making mistakes. We're so hard on ourselves. And this is our life and this is our journey. But boy, do we have a heck of a time doing things for ourselves.
Tyler Smith joined us. We're talking about his company, Not Alone, which was a clothing company with just a few very simple quotes that has turned into something more powerful. A lot of people just, you read it, you see it. Have you noticed, when you come up with a new piece of, because Not Alone is very simple. I like that. It's, hey, we're not alone. And then you come up with new ones. Do you ever have people recommend them and you're just you know what, maybe that's one we'll have to use?
Yeah, we do. And I think, the one time we even did a little world tour hoodie, you go to some artist shows and they have their hoodie with all the dates that they've been to or all the cities and all the dates. And I think even, the one we did a bunch of just different, topics around mental health, vulnerability and resilience and leadership. And I think I think curiosity is the biggest thing, and I think we have really missed that in society. And I think once again that goes back to Rich, even just like fist pumping, a security guard at the airport. Like I learned this from Ron McLean, and Ron is so good at it, obviously. But Ron is somebody that will take the time to read the name tag of the person that whether it's a cashier at a grocery store or a waitress, and addressing people by their name. And I think that curiosity thing, it really does make people feel seen and feel heard and feel loved. And, to go back to just like the designs with our hoodies, is just like, it's purely a curiosity thing where I hope that people like stop somebody that's wearing it and is like, what is this? Like, talk to me about this. And I think that's what, can hopefully ultimately create that like community feel to it in a tough world like mental health.
And, the mental health world, I like what you said there. It's tough in both ways. Like you mentioned earlier, like, hey, sometimes people cry. Were you a crier previous to the accident?
No, like, don't get me wrong. The odds, like, I don't know. I cried at like Pursuit of Happiness, when Will Smith's in the bathroom with his kid, or Marley and Me, like things like that. But no, and still to this day, like, by no means am I advocating for this. But like, it sometimes it does take me a couple drinks to, shed a tear. And that's when that, like, things start to come to its head. And I think that's, something that originally I was like kind of embarrassed about, but it's wild when you sit around sometimes with your buddies and a couple stories start flowing and a couple like emotions start flowing. And I think it's, once again, it just builds, like, it just like builds that trust and that like foundation with your boys. So, no, I was not a crier, to answer your question.
And, because of everything you went through, with Humboldt, Tyler, and you've come out on the other side, extremely well, at least from my vantage point. I think I know you a little bit through Noah and stuff like that. And just everybody you talk about, rough journey and rough past can lead to beautiful endings. How long did it take you to be at peace with what happened?
Yeah, I think, even with that, like, I've now, to kind of flip it, I've now learned to move forward with my trauma rather than move on from it. I think originally, there's so many misconceptions that you have around. And as I mentioned, like, I never went through anything. I didn't lose anybody in my life close to me. And I think you learn a lot in grief. You learn a lot in that. You learn a lot in trauma. But I think, it took me 9 months to ask for help. Like, it took me 9 months of just like, shutting it down. Like, I'm good, like, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. And I think that's something that, we are all very good at in some capacity. And by no means am I going to, come in and say that I'm at peace, because I never will be. Like, I think there's still unanswered questions that now I don't consume myself with, but now I understand that. And I think now I've learned to move forward with the fact that, my people are watching. And I think I could be that weird, guy with his grief that can mention that I got a weird infatuation with like birds and bunnies. Like, and I think openly talking about that, like, even dimes and grief will are very aligned, and you be absolutely.
Why are dimes and grief aligned? In what way?
I'm not actually sure what the I don't know what's behind it, but it's just the amount of conversations I've had with individuals that it's dimes. Like, I remember one time I was in Regina for speaking for Young's Equipment, which once again was it's like a farming equipment manufacturer. Sure. And one of the execs came up to me afterwards, and he's like, all he said was like, it's dimes for me. So I don't know what it actually is, but even like I just did a speech recently in Quebec, and the organizer of the event, her name was Gina. She was just like spark plug. She was amazing. And after my speech ended, she lifted up her bag and she's like, I found a dime right under my bag, and I just had to give it to you. So it's just like, I don't know what it is, but even, one of my favorite people in the world, Rhonda Tobin, who unfortunately lost her son that day, Parks, same thing, she's big into dimes. And so I don't know what it is, but it's just dimes is so special to a lot of people.
And what about birds and bunnies for you? What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Birds was kind of just like the watching over piece. And I think that's something that, gave me a lot of hope. I got a tattoo on my left chest with 16 blackbirds. And then bunnies for me, for so long when I was living at my parents' place in Leduc, there was like a bunny that would just like wait outside. And we all know bunnies, like, you get close and it just like darts, see you later. But for some reason, this bunny would just stick around. I'm telling you, like, if I got home, sometimes at like 2 a.m, 9 p.m, 2 p.m, like this bunny would just like sit there. And I think, in your grief world, you're allowed to think of some weird things. And my mom was like, somebody's just trying to make sure you're getting home safe. And I think, there's little things like that that I think I should never be the one to give people allowance to be like, you're allowed to grieve, like you're allowed to do this. But one of my favorite quotes is like, death ends a life, not a relationship. And I think that, keeping that relationship is something that I don't think we're allowed to do, but it's just like, why not? Like you're never going to get an answer sometimes, but like, damn, like you're allowed to look up and say something, like you're allowed to. So yeah, that's my rant.
Well, Tyler, it's a really important point because I think people are nervous around death, right? It's not something they're familiar with. And I read a while back of someone was so moved by someone coming up to them and instead of expressing their grief said, "Tell me your favorite memory of your son." And she just lit up and she said it was the first time someone approached me about my grief and gave me a gift, right? And I think sometimes, death is a tough one, right? It's not, a lot, like you said, you hadn't experienced it. And that's, I think it's really, really important to think through. And that's just a really valuable question. If anybody picks up on that's listening today, think about it and watch the dynamic change. Because now you'll learn about the lost loved one. You'll learn about something you didn't know. You'll engage in a conversation that's heartwarming and not difficult, right? So you make a really interesting point.
Yeah, and I think even with that, like, one of the hardest things in the world is what do you say to somebody after they lost somebody? And I think, honestly, I do believe that, like, always make sure that like I'm thinking about you, and I want you to know that like I'm here, like no matter what. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Rich. Like I think really giving people that space to like talk about them, and like you could make the argument of like keeping their legacy alive. Like I think even just like one of the producers from TSN, Matt Dunn, who did a little bit on me years ago. He lost his best friend from college to suicide like 37 years ago. And he still every year on his birthday, posts about him and says happy birthday. And I think, for him, I was curious the one time and he's just like, it's literally just that acknowledgement piece. Like, it's just like that acknowledgement piece of my buddy. And like, like his family knowing that I will never forget. And I think that's our biggest fear with loss is forget.
Well, they want to know, Jason, like my father committed suicide when I was 7. I have no memories. I don't remember him. That's a fairly common trauma in that situation, but we want to know about them. We want to hear about them. We want to keep them alive. And I remember one time I was with we called her Auntie Hazel. She just was a close friend of the family. And I was playing with my 2 daughters, visiting her. And she said, it's like I'm watching your dad. And I have no memory of that, but at least I sort of got this feeling like for a moment, I was in my dad's space, and I think that was a huge gift for me. And I think a lot of people are looking for that. So this is to me a really important topic because you're right about keeping them alive. My dad's dead to me in virtually every memory. I have none. And those kinds of things are really a gift, to come up with someone and say, I don't know if you knew this, Jason, but when your grandson came to my house 3 years ago and you tell him this story that they never knew, it changes everything in a really good way.
Totally.
No, it totally does. And it's actually funny because when I booked this, I actually didn't notice till like a few minutes ago that today's would have been my dad's birthday. And,
oh, wow.
And my dad, of course, passed away 25 years ago. And so Rich, losing your dad young, I remember you telling me that a while back, but it's when you say the story about Bunny and whatever, it's funny because for me, when we had to leave the farm, that was probably the hardest thing. Because when I used to go to the farm, I could walk out in the barnyard and literally almost any square foot, I can remember a story. See my dad here. Oh, we did something here. We did something here. Some of them are good. Some of them are kind of like, they're always funny at the end. And keeping that alive is, I think, something's very key. And like I was never really a crier until my dad passed away, and I spoke at his funeral, and I was kind of joking about it. I was like, God, now I blame him because now I'll cry at times, and I'm okay with it. Some days it's a little embarrassing. Like, you know, I cried at one time at this Dancing with the Stars thing for no reason. It was embarrassing. My wife she knows it now. She was literally laughing at the table where everyone else at the table was kind of like, because still some guys, if they see another guy cry, we're like, oh my God, I don't know what to say here. This is getting a little uncomfortable. Like, what's happening? Right. And so it was a few of my buddies, and they're like, why are you laughing? She goes, oh, he's not even sad. He's going to be mad that he started crying. Because some days the tears just come and they're like, what the hell's going on? Right. And so, but it's okay. And like, I do share stories to my son who never met my dad a lot, just to try to explain to him, hey, this is what dad did. And, you know, this is your grandpa would be proud of you. And you remind me of your grandpa this way and stuff like that. And it's very true. I like what you said about the, you know, that it's not, the relationship isn't over, right? The memories are there and for different reasons. And you know, the 16 Blackbirds, of course, for anybody who's just listening, there were 16 people that passed away on the in the Humboldt bus crash, obviously friends and teammates and trainers of Tyler. And so, you know, you have the Blackbird of the 16. What about the 13 survivors, Ty? Like, do you have like a bond, and like, is there like an annual meeting thing, or is it like a text chain? How does it work to keep in touch? Because I'm sure everybody goes through different levels of grief, and sometimes it's hard to talk about the people that were directly impacted. I know that sounds strange, but they say sometimes it's harder to talk to those. Is that the case for you, or has it gotten better over time?
Well, first off, I just want to say sorry for bringing the tears, gentlemen.
Oh, God, no, don't worry about it.
And Jason, truly happy birthday to your dad. But yeah, I think, you know, it's a unique situation for sure. And I think we've done a very good job of sticking together. At the end of the day, you know, we are scattered across Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta. One guy's in Manitoba. But I think now we're in like our everybody's getting married phase, which is actually kind of nice because it does, like, it's a free reunion. I mean, I got married in September. One of the other guys got married in July. So as much as, you know, we're looking forward to a toonie bar or an open bar, like, I think it does just like, it affords us the opportunity to get together. And I think, you know, I can't speak for everybody else by any means, but I think, you know, we've done a really good job of staying connected. I mean, one of the boys was in my party. He's one of my best friends. And, you know, we talk about, I love you. Like, I think that's something that we're pretty good at. And I think that's something that we can be proud of.
It's important
as well. So,
yeah, it's very important for guys, I think, to say that to other guys. I read the book, The Boy Crisis, and it talked about when guys get together, sometimes you can talk about the past and it's unbelievable, and you leave and you never really talked about anything, right? Like, you're sharing the same story that everybody knows and it's fun. But he talked about there's like 15 minutes at the end. There should be, okay, now let's talk about our, you know, and in the book it says, talk about your shit, because you've got something that somebody and it might not be everybody, but some guys are very uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden they open up once. And some days it just, once you talk about it, even though nothing was solved, you got it out. Kind of like you let, you know, sometimes just the bad thoughts or the anger or the frustration or the heartbreak, you know, maybe a girlfriend dumped you or whatever, you know, something.
No, the girlfriends never dumped you. It was always mutual when the guys get dumped, right? It's always mutual.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah. You know, I wasn't feeling it anymore. Yeah, no, that's true. But, so, Ty, with your company, when you start, and for anybody out there who wants to check it out, go to NotAloneCo.com. So NotAloneCo.com, and you can see all the different things they have. It talks about vulnerability and community and conversation and the charities you help out and a lot of the awareness in your work. What's kind of new for you, and how often do you update? And when you come up with an idea for a piece of clothing, who do you have to go through? Is it Tyler Smith looking in the mirror, or who else helps you come up with these ideas?
My wife. It's got to be full approval from my wife. I think that's. But yeah, I mean, if something comes, I think the OG logo, the old Not Alone, and multicolored, and it's okay to not be okay. It seems, you know, it stood the test of time, and it's something that really, you know, aligns with a lot of people. So, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. The clothing world is wild, but you know, it's just hopefully facilitating those conversations, and it's you know, something I hope to continue doing, and you know, for the next little bit, and I don't know how much longer I'll do the clothing or speaking, but for right now, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of it and just grateful to be in this wild world.
A real important point, though, is we can't forget, like, you've gone through this trauma, which in many ways has become a blessing because of the way it's changed your lives. But back to your point, Jason, is yeah, that last 15 minutes, unfortunately, most of us have never had bad times. You know, I grew up with my buddies in Drumheller. We played baseball. We won provincial championships, didn't have a trauma with them. And I think the one thing that we have to continue to try and recognize is look out into the world that we live in, our friends and those that we associate with. Their trauma is not always shared or visible, right? So I think it's really important to, you know, look them in the eye, put your hand on their shoulder when you think things are tough, and maybe they'll open up, right? Because there's just a lot of suffering going on in the world that isn't shared. The shared stuff's not necessarily better, but it's more therapeutic.
Yeah. And I think even, you know, to touch on that, like I always mention, like, it's not about comparing your story. Like, it's not about, you know, dissecting of like, you know, they went through a lot. I don't know if I went, like, I think just finding a common ground really does, you know, it's the age old quote, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think, you know, finding that common ground, you'd be surprised, but we're so good at diminishing our own stories too, because, you know, like I've met a lot of people that are, like I've met a lot of people that are like, well, I don't know, like I got fired from my job. Like, and I'm like, that still deserves something. Like, that's still like the loss of your job. Like, that's still like, in a way, that's grief. Like, you're allowed to lose, like, grief the loss of your job. And I think, once again, it shouldn't be me by any means giving people that allowance, but it's crazy what, you know, like that story can allow people to start to, like, you know, have that thought of like, you know, maybe my shit does matter too. You know, maybe I can have that 15-minute conversation after, you know, with my boys. And, but yeah, no, it's very true, Rich.
Once again, notalonecode.com is where you can get the any of the merchandise. And also Tyler, you know, he's done a lot of speaking engagements over this. If you want him to come to your companies, he mentioned, you know, very comfortable in the oil field business, no problem. In the financial business, because the one truth is it doesn't really matter what line of work you're in. I think there's people at different days that are struggling, and sometimes you just need to hear somebody's story. And I'm sure in those speaking engagements, Tyler, you get as much out of it as the listeners do sometimes, because someone comes up to you and says something, and you're just like, wow, that's what I've always found. I've done a few speaking engagements, and usually I leave there more inspired by listening to the other people's story than ever I'm about my own. So I appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing all your stuff with us. It's an awesome idea what you did, and it's always good to go into to ventures where you have no idea what you're doing. That makes it a little bit more fun at times as well. So thanks for that, and continued success. Great to see you again.
Much love to you both. Appreciate you.
And nice to meet you, Tyler, virtually.
There you go. That's Tyler Smith, of course, from he's one of the survivors from the Humboldt bus crash 7.5 years ago. Wow. It's crazy. That was in April of 2018. And you can check out the website, notalonecode.com. They got some great merchandise. Maybe there's someone in your life. We've got a lot of texts from people right now that are, you know, having a tough time. It's that, especially I find you get to the holidays and there's lots of people out there that they've lost a loved one, and this is going to be their first Christmas. And it is, it's never, you know what? Because there's going to be a memory of your loved one at Christmas time that's going to hit you in a way that you never really expect. And if it does, my advice is to don't shy away from that feeling, embrace it. If it's tears, whatever it is, but talk to someone about it, because there's probably someone else in your inner circle that is having the same memory or same void, just over a different feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
Yeah. Rich, great to see you, man. We will chat with you next week. The business of sport.
Look forward to it. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jason, and happy birthday to your dad.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, and fly safe. That's Rich Winter joining us on the business of sport. And you know what's great about the business of sport is we can touch on a lot of different topics and a lot of different things. So thank you very much. We also, you know what I also like is we got bids during the segment. Pretty emotional segment. That's okay. Hey, our show, the one thing we've always kind of prided ourselves on, we're going to disagree and we're going to yell and scream and have huge debates over sports, which is really the fun stuff in life. But we're never going to shy away from the real topics, because I think it makes us all better. For all those who text in and have lost someone, it's weird. The anniversary of my dad probably creeps up on me a lot quicker than his birthday. It is funny because my father-in-law's birthday was yesterday and he just passed away early this year. And it's my father's birthday today. But the good news is my son's birthday tomorrow. So, and he's fired up for 12. Who knew? Who remembers their 12th birthday? And I can tell you he's pretty fired up for it. So that's, there's always some good and bad at the same time. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. We'll update on the month of giving. Get those packages up a little bit to at least retail value. And we'll get to spec and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Loca. And at Loca right now, they got meals. They're delivering. So you go to meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier. You can select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to eat and get them delivered right to your door every Sunday for as low as $10 a serving. Just heat and eat. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Devils host the Stars, Jets in Montreal, Flyers and Sabres. Mammoth meet the Ducks, and the Capitals taking on the Sharks. Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the 2-time NBA MVP's future, discussing whether his best fit is staying or going elsewhere. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks, while NBA vet Chris Paul has been waived by the Clippers. On the court, you got Trailblazers and Cavs. Pacers host the Nuggets. Spurs take on the Magic. Hornets in New York. Rockets host the Kings. Pistons meet the Bucks, and the Mavs taking on the Heat. In the PWHL, Vancouver's in Boston to take on the Fleet. That one starts at 5 o'clock. And in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens have signed tight end Mark Andrews to a $39.3 million extension with 26 guaranteed. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and head coach of the Edmonton Elks, Mark Killam. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca. When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Get ready, Edmonton. Glow Christmas Festival returns to light up the Edmonton Expo Center from December 4th to 31st with dazzling activities for the entire family. Wander the glowing trails, meet Santa in his sleigh, and shop from over 30 local artisans and vendors with handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures, perfect for everyone on your list. Get your tickets and learn more about what's on this season by visiting the calendar of events at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select
X and
major
Instagram,
appliances.
always brought to you.
Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See brick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more. Connor Halley with you here in
The longest running
Bunny and
basketball
whatever.
show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, you know winter is really freaking cold, right? So play it smart. Don't get caught freezing in your car with your pants down and no power. At Big Toy Shop right now, lead-acid batteries are just $129. $129 is a great price for a good start. Big Toy Shop. Power up and save some bucks at Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth AA football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And we're into the final hour. Actually, we're going to end the auction a little bit earlier today because I got to jet out just a few minutes early. So Con can't do both, host and answer the phone. So the auction's going to end today at 5:40, just so you know. So we have 35 minutes left. We want to get to face value. So Jean is now up to 1950. We're getting closer on our Mr. Dirk package, which includes $1,500, and usually it's a little bit more towards two hand-picked items courtesy of Sterling to help you out on blazers, jeans, suits. You fit it all together. It's awesome. Then you get an additional $500 gift certificate to go towards a shirt, ties, accessories, pocket squares, you name it, whatever you like at Mr. Dirk. Then on top of that, you get all of your tailoring included, and an in-store consultation from Sterling Dirk. So that's currently at $1,950 from Jean. And steal a deal right now today at the Ranch Golf and Country Club at $1,400 from Jay to tee it up at the ranch. Got a lot of rounds of golf, lots of laughs. You got 10 rounds on your own with golf cart to use whenever you like. Then you have one day you and two of your buddies will tee it up in a foursome with head pro Sean Piercy. He's going to treat you for lunch, beverages, and if you want a little on-course training, teaching, go right ahead, or just have some laughs. And then another day, you and a buddy are going to come, maybe have a little match against McCord, Murray McCord, of course, the GM at the ranch, and Carius from the morning show. He'll talk a good game. We'll see if we can match it. But the good news is those two are buying. So you'll have a lot of fun for all of it. And that's currently at a steal at $1,400. So we always like to get to face value. We're helping out the Brightville Elementary program. It's a breakfast program. Just kids some food. It's amazing. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you want to get in on that, that would be fantastic. So there you go. Now let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. If you're in need of running water, maybe a roadway, they do it all. They are the grinders, the underappreciated, the construction world. GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Going to Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing? What's going on, Jay? A little snow falling today. Gotta like that.
Yeah, little snow, baby. Lots of things. The Oilers game, like it was an entertaining game in the sense of like, it was close the whole game, and there's a few good saves. There wasn't a ton of great chances, I didn't think, at either end. And, the numbers from Clearsight kind of suggest that. 4 high danger and 4 mid chances for Minnesota, 3 high danger for Edmonton, 9 mid danger for the Oilers. Actually had more. Minnesota had more than Edmonton. Edmonton only generated 8 of those, and Minnesota generated 12. Good goaltending on both sides. But the Oilers offense just, you got close, Spec, and then sometimes they were their own worst enemy, passing out of situations, missing the net on some of their best chances.
Yeah, the two things that I saw were Certainly missing the net. And Evan Bouchard, I'm always saying he's got to shoot the puck more because his shot's so good. But he's not a net misser. Like Evan Bouchard, when he's on, man, he hits the net and he often can shoot it within a couple inches of the iron, wherever, high, low, whatever. But not last night. He missed some nets. And to me, the biggest weapon he has, obviously, that shot is so good that it creates rebounds. It's not a muffin that the goalie can put wherever he wants it. Oftentimes, he's got a hard shot to handle, and it'll lay down a nice rebound for someone. Didn't get any of those last night. I'd say this, Jay, that was a kind of game where you wouldn't have minded a bit of a garbage goal. And the Oilers' shot selection, sometimes they're not a garbage goal team. They don't give themselves a lot of opportunities for garbage goals because they meet out those shots pretty skimpily, I would say. Don't you think? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yes, they don't like. I felt they tried to get traffic in front yesterday, and that's a good thing, but it doesn't seem to come natural for some of them because anytime there was a rebound, they just weren't in the position to bang it home.
Yeah, and there wasn't enough rebounds. Listen, some nights they land on your stick and some nights they don't. I'm not going to sit and critique the Oilers too much. Remember, Minnesota's perhaps playing the best hockey they're going to play all year. They got points in 12 straight games. They're a well-oiled machine, man. Just watching them play last night, like guys were making passes to guys. They weren't even looking. There was someone right in the right spot, tape to tape, puck was out. Like that Minnesota team, Wallstedt's out of his mind right now. Like this could be there's guys play 15 years in the league and don't have 4 shutouts in this short period of time. So they're at the very, very apex of their game, Minnesota. And I thought Edmonton was every bit as good or better than they were last night. So it was a really good game for Edmonton. They allowed 1 goal in the last 6 periods of hockey. They well could have won that game last night. Tough luck they didn't. But for a team that we've been critiquing their defensive game, Jay, all season long, I want to say to you that they're starting to look like maybe they got something figured out on that front, huh?
Yeah, they do. Well, Edmonton just can't beat Minnesota in Edmonton. It's kind of a wild stat. They're 4-10 now in Edmonton against the Wild and the McDavid and the Draisaitl era. And Edmonton didn't play poorly last night. I thought their defensive game was very well, but it was very good. Their offensive side, their top guys passed out of some of their best look. Their power play, like that one power play, like they did everything but score. They had a lot of good looks, and they couldn't score. Right now, though, man, their bottom 6 is not like Clattenburg's got the most goals of anybody in the bottom 6, and he's only played 4 games here in the last bit. Like Janmark doesn't have a goal. Henrique hasn't scored 5-on-5 in 20 games. Mangiapane has 1 goal in the last 19 games. He's been outscored 21-8, 5-on-5. Curtis Lazar has the goal late. In New Jersey, hasn't produced a whole bunch. Like they got to get some, as you mentioned, ugly goals. Trent Frederick, same thing. Like they just got a lot of guys there not scoring 5-on-5 at all, or not scoring in general.
Not scoring at all. Listen, I had about a 15-minute conversation with Trent Frederick today. They just posted my column on sportsnet.ca, and he's a little bit flustered. Like he didn't say that he was embarrassed. I don't think that's the right word, but a guy comes to a new team and he wants to walk in the door and show his teammates that it was money well spent and he's going to be a good player and he's going to help this team. And he hasn't shown any of that. And he knows it. And he said, he says, I think the guys think I'm a good guy. I think they probably want me to be a better player. And so do I want to be a better player.
Yeah.
So he's on a new team and it ain't going very well. He's down to the 4th line. He's playing 8 minutes a night. The coach has clearly lost trust in him. So he's at rock bottom here, man. And you know what? I guess there's nowhere to go but up. You like the guy because he is a really good guy. But as a scout once told me, man, the minors are filled with good guys. You want a good player when you sign him to an 8-year deal.
Yeah. And, I guess the good news is he's got a long time to go to make up for the deal. But yeah, he's got to get going, right? And I saw your one quote that you put out. It goes, hey, your minutes reflect how you're playing. So he's not a guy who is, the coach doesn't like me. I deserve to play more. Like, it seems like, hey, I'm not playing well enough and I got to play better. Did he give you any insight on how he thinks he can play better?
Well, yeah, like I said to him, is it as simple as, like I said, you're playing with Clattenburg. Can he bring you into the fight? And he thought, he said, I mean, I don't think he sees himself as a guy that's just going to run around and hit everybody the way Clattenburg is. You know, Clattenburg's averaging 30 hits per 60 right now.
Yeah.
30 hits per 60. I don't think I don't think he sees himself as that guy, but I don't know what he sees himself as, you know, like he's not going out and scoring you 25 because that's not who he is. And no, I guess the short answer is no. I'm not sure at this point in this team, he knows exactly what his role needs to be. I feel like it should just be as a real physical player, go out and bang and make things happen. But I'm not sure he sees it that way.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, I talked to people in Boston and they said he played his best when he was playing that way. So, maybe he can get back into it. We'll see. I think he needs to do it. And confidence is a weird thing, Spec, because I haven't looked at McDavid. And, Connor they lost that game 1-0. They've been calmer after losses when they played poorly and lost than they were yesterday. Like, you could tell they're pretty annoyed. They felt like, and maybe it's because, you know what, the last 40 seconds they have a 6-on-4 and they don't even get a shot on goal, and it's got an errant pass. And McDavid right now he has 41 giveaways. His career high is 89. He's on pace for 125. Like, for McDavid, and that's why I only compare him to him. His puck management and missing passes that normally wouldn't miss. Like, there is I don't know if it was Hyman was head man up the ice. And it would have been a 2-on-1 clear. And the pass went in his skates. Well, that never happens for McDavid, right? Like, usually, and you just take it for granted. Boom, it's on the tape. Boom, it's on the tape. And, he's not shooting when he's coming right down the pipe. He's missing some passes. Like, he's changing sticks. Like, he's somebody right now that's just not, feeling great about his game just based on his actions.
Well, it is weird. Like, I was talking with Carius this morning. Like, I remember I did that piece with him in, early September before camp started. And he said to me I didn't even ask him the question. He said, I want to score more. He says, remember the quote was something like, I've had years where I had lots of assists and I've had years where I've had lots of goals, and I like scoring more than I like assists. He says, I want to get goals this year. I've got to get back to shooting more. Like, he stated that goal before the season. And here we are 27 games in, and he's under-paced, right? He's pacing to have one of his lightest years in shots on goal. So yeah. I don't know what happens. Like, how does the greatest player in the world come up with a plan and then not be able to execute it? Like, I don't, how does Connor McDavid lose confidence? Oh my God, if I was a 1,000th that good, I'd be the most confident guy on my beer league team. But he does. He's he's a human, right?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, Spec? His shots on goal are down, but his shots that miss the net are up, right? And so because I added in, I wrote the article today. If you add in his shots on goal and his missed shots of the net, he's averaging 4.55 this year. He was at 4.2 last year and 4.63 the year before. The difference is if you just look at shots on goal, they're down significantly. Because his shots missed per game are at 1.77, where the last few years they've been at 1.28 and 1.17. So, that's where it is. He's getting the shots, but they're missing the net. And so that to me is sometimes a sign of confidence, right? Like, and now you start changing your stick, that you're thinking on different things. And that's all right. Like, it'll happen. But even the greatest player, like, confidence, it doesn't matter who you are and what walk of life. When you start questioning yourself, your confidence wanes. Your production just goes down. It's just, I'm sure you've experienced this as a writer, right? Yep. It happens, right? All of a sudden you sit there, you're staring at the wall. I don't know what the hell I'm going to write. This is going to be terrible. Then you got to think yourself out of it. It's no different than the person, who's whatever their job is, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're working in the oil field. I don't care where you're working. If you don't believe that you're good at your job, the odds of you being really good at your job diminish significantly.
Yeah, they do, for sure. And it does seem crazy, but we've watched it forever, and it's true. The best hitter goes in a slump, the best quarterback, like, you remember those second basemen over the years who forgot how to throw to first and they had the yips, right? The best golfer gets the yips. It does happen. Yeah. I would, like when we were talking, you were in that scrum last night. Connor came out and said after, he said, we passed up some chances, and me in particular. But like Knobloch said today at practice, he said, the second time he walks into the slot, he's on his backhand, He could try a backhand shot there, sure, or whip it to his forehand and shoot. But he said he passed that puck over to Savoy, and it's going to be like he said, you probably got a 10% chance of scoring from where Connor McDavid had the puck. But where Savoy is, he's got a 30 or 40% chance because he is wide open on the back door, and that pass hits the heel of Hyman's skate, and it doesn't go to Savoy's tape. He's got to collect the puck. Now the chance is gone. So, like I'm here. I ain't sitting here and second guessing Connor McDavid. Okay, I'm just not doing it. If that pass doesn't hit someone's skate, it's probably a goal, and we're talking about a tie game. So, I don't know what to tell you, Jay, but don't paint me as a guy that's sitting on the radio telling Connor McDavid how to play hockey. I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah, no, that's and that's fair. It's totally fair. I don't, but I just think I'm not going to solve the problem. I'm just pointing out, like, when I put all the pieces together, it's looking like a guy right now who's fighting a little bit, and he's still fifth in the league in scoring. So that's why I always preface it by saying, hey, like, Connor McDavid's struggles still means he's one of the best players in the world. He's just not the best at this time. That's the difference, right? Like,
I think there's a whole team of guys like this, Jay. That's why the Oilers are what they are right now. That's why I think they're finding their game. Like, I think we're getting a sample size. They played really well in Tampa, right? It's 1-0 with 5 minutes to play. They go into Florida. I know that Bobrovsky wasn't any good, but they win a game in Florida. That's got to count as a confidence builder. Yeah, they get killed by Dallas. Then they go to Seattle. They throw down a 4-0 win. That's solid as all day long. Then you come home, you play a team like Minnesota, that's the hottest team in the league maybe right now, and you go 1-0 with them right to the end. I think you got a sample size of 4 out of 5 games where their defensive game's coming together. They're starting to look like themselves. Skinner's giving you 2 in a row where he's been absolutely rock solid. Maybe as the collective gets better, so does the individual, right? Maybe some guys start chiming in here. Maybe Frederick finds a little bit of his game. Maybe a depth guy gets you a goal. Maybe things are coming together a little. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. So 4 out of 5 is pretty good. And their next 4 games, man, are very winnable. When you look at teams playing on back-to-backs and the quality of those teams, and the Oilers just got to keep believing in themselves. And if a few guys can find their offense, it should be all right.
They laid down that game last night against Seattle, against Winnipeg, against Buffalo, against Detroit. None of those teams scare the hell out of me. If you play the game you played last night defensively, I think you could get some points out of these next 4 games for sure.
Very true. Spec, we'll chat with you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thanks, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. Man, we got some bids during that segment. I love it. Thank you very much. Stan came in at 2050, and now Jean's back in at 2200. And we had 1450 from J-Rock, and then we had 1500 from Steve, and now Jay's up to 1600 on the golf. So let's keep it rolling. Remember, we're going to end that a little bit earlier today around 540. So 833-401-1440. You can text or call in your bid, and be sure to be on your phone during the next commercial break, because Connor always likes to call everybody to give them their in. And so there you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Mark Killen joins us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick. saving you more.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 10th to 12th, 8 a.m. Live on-site and online. On offer, core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids, on-site viewing, and timed auction start December 5th. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.528. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Jean's up to 2,300 on the golf, and we're up to, or sorry, not golf, on the Mr. Dirk package. And J-Rock has a 1,650 on the Ranch golf package. So keep it up, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's most trusted charter company. Will safely take you or your group to your next destination in style. SilentRides.ca. We are joined by the head coach of the Edmonton Elks, Mark Gillam. Coach, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Mark, do you, as a coach do you watch the Grey Cup, or is it too hard to watch it?
No, I watch it.
Okay.
I mean, this is what I do. You know what I mean? I don't go to like big Grey Cup parties or anything like that.
Okay.
I sit on my couch, eat a pizza, and watch the game. But I'm all in. So I got to see what's happening.
Okay. Obviously, you know what's happening on your team quickly, and then I want to get to this selects program you guys are doing, which is pretty awesome. But you've extended a lot of your defensive guys. Your defense really improved throughout the season, and especially on your D line, and probably not from the guys you expected, because you'd come in, there were some big free agents, and unfortunately injuries forced them to the sidelines. And a lot of your younger guys really stepped up and now being rewarded with some contracts.
Yeah, I mean, it's the tough part of pro sport, but it's kind of the nature of it. I mean, we had those lofty expectations coming in, and for a lot of reasons. we didn't quite reach them. I think our defense improved as a whole.
Yes.
Throughout the season, but I mean, when guys get opportunities, we talked about it all year. I mean, you only get so many opportunities in professional football, and when you do get them, you've got to make the most of them. And those guys definitely did.
They definitely did. And, as somebody who's been around the league as long as you have, Mark, like once guys get comfortable in the league, like the opportunity to do more, your playbook expands. And I talked to JC during the year that, your DBs really started to understand more. Well, now you can do more. And it just feels like your playbook can be maybe even deeper from day one, because you have a lot of guys who won't be first year players next, and they're all going to be second and third and longer.
Yeah. And if you look, you just mentioned the back end. I mean, so many guys got such invaluable experience in a multitude of positions because we had to shuffle the deck a few times. And, you got some young guys, Taylor Garnes, Kenny, JJ Ross. You got all these guys playing a ton of snaps and really, really improving and just adding value all over the place. So I feel like, that group especially is going to be, leaps and bounds ahead of where they were, which is important because it's important for us to start fast next year and get out of the gate, and having a secondary that's on the same page right off the jump is going to be critical.
Your linebacking core kind of similar to your defensive line in the sense that some key injuries allowed some young guys to get some great experience and maybe show the coach that, geez, like these guys can play.
Yeah. I mean, it's a positive and a negative. It's one of those things where, you want as many good football players in the room as you can. That's what you try to say every year when you stock the cupboard and you get to training camp. You say, let's put as many good football players out there as we can and just let the guys decide who's going to play. And then injuries is the negative part about it, is that they happen, especially when you play a full commit style of football. And it's unfortunate. You feel for the man, and you feel for the human that's hurt, but then the football train, it just keeps moving, and you need guys to step in right away. And that's why you have to have good football players in behind them, not only so that they feel it and you don't lose a beat, but it's also pushing them. You want to have as competitive a room as possible, and that's one of the foundations of how we practice is we compete on a daily basis because we feel like that's the best way to go about it, and that's the result that you see is guys ready to play and taking advantage of those opportunities.
Head coach of the Green and Gold, Mark Killam, joined us. Mark, you'd been coaching for a long time, and I've talked to head coaches, the first time when that year's over and they have a chance to kind of exhale and look at the whole thing kind of from afar. What did you learn most about being a head coach this year that you maybe surprised you weren't completely aware of until you actually did the job?
Geez, it's kind of like a multi-layered answer. It's obviously I learned a ton. I learned a ton about myself as well. But I think the biggest thing is when you take those lessons that you have to apply them the next year. So I'll give you an example. So I know going into my second training camp as a head coach how intentional I want to be in certain areas of our football team during camp. Whereas last year it was like we set the practice schedule and it's like, okay, let's get to camp, and now we're just going. And I was, doing a ton of special teams and doing a ton of all this stuff. But now I can be, a year removed. I know what I want, exactly what I want to get out of training camp, so I can apply myself in certain areas of the football team. And that's something that I didn't really do. I just kind of let it, just went, and you just trust. And that's why you have a staff. But I think, being involved a little bit more and understanding what the other sides of the ball are doing a little bit better is gonna help our football team.
And that's something, Mark, that until you do the job, you probably and it's not even a lack of preparation. It's sometimes we don't know what we don't know until we're in that situation.
There's no doubt, and you have to go through it to learn it. And then you make the note of, hey, okay, I'm going to learn from that. And that's the type of humans that we are in this business, because you have to continue to keep evolving, and you have to continue to keep taking steps and moving forward and all that stuff. So you do it naturally, but you're right. You don't know it until you get into it. And then you also don't know, we had to figure out how to work together. That staff was brand new and was relatively young, and we had to kind of figure out, how we interact with each other, how different guys like style to structure their workflow, how I can aid them or assist them or be a part of that as well. So I think we had to go through all that. And, I'm actually really looking forward to being in it in a second year where you kind of know what to expect a little bit, and then you can apply yourself in different areas.
Mark Killam joins us, head coach of the Green and Gold. So, Mark, take us kind of through what this next few months leads up. There are obviously some free agency. I guess the big decision is, have you had, because everybody out there is wondering, have you had a conversation with Cody Fajardo? You got a sense of if he's coming back to be your starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, those are ongoing right now, so we're just kind of respecting the process. But he knows how I feel about him, and I don't do any of the negotiating. Yes. That's not my area of the program. But I 100% trust the people that are doing that, and those conversations are ongoing. But we've been able to re-sign and restructure some guys that we wanted back, like you mentioned, and then you're on this like bullet train, Jason, that's just going so hard in the season, and then all of a sudden it ends. The season ends, but it doesn't quite stop. You kind of grind to a halt a little bit, but we had a little bit of staff change, so we're doing interviews and stuff right now. So there's still things ongoing. I haven't completely stopped working, but it's also my first off season as a head coach, because last year I was just hired, so I immediately went to work to try to start creating the foundation of what we wanted to be. So that's a learning experience in itself. But I can tell you that I enjoy taking my daughter to school in the morning. I enjoy being able to go to like their activities. Yes. So all that kind of stuff is a plus.
Well, and it's important to step away. And because like you guys during the season, man, like football coaches are crazy and how many hours they put in. You're there so early, and it's like overtime hours every day of 8 to 10 hours, it seems. And so I was going to ask you about just the importance, and you've done this before just as a coach at different levels, but when you're the head coach, you got even more responsibilities to say, hey, I have to owe it to my mental side, to my physical side, to just take a break, whether it's a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and just enjoy my kids and enjoy my family and not be football 100%, because otherwise you won't be fresh when the season begins.
There's no doubt. And you know what else? I feel like I'm more creative when I step away, because when you're in it, you're just constantly solving what's the next problem, and you're just constantly going that way. And then, when you finish, it is good to be able to step out and, think critically about how you did something, but like critically without a deadline. It's not like I have to get it done by practice tomorrow. I can think about it and analyze it and think about how we attack the problem, and then I can find more creative solutions. But I can't do that when I'm super gassed in season. So it takes a little bit of time, but my family and I are enjoying Edmonton and going to like all the little things that are happening around the city. So that's nice at night as well.
And now I know you're not a direct part of the new Elks launch their Double E Selects program, but you obviously know the importance of getting good young players, especially Canadian young players. And this, I think, is a huge step moving forward for young football players age 12 to 18 to get into this recruitment process. But more so, like Aaron Grimes is coaching them. Your special teams assistant Des Cotillier is coaching. Danny Nesbitt, Nick Anderson. So they're going to get some unbelievable coaching, Mark. And I know that's the one thing I've talked to so many football people about in Canada. The biggest improvement of the Canadian talent is the fact that you have better coaching now, so you can get the best and bring more out of these really good athletes.
Yeah, I think it's unbelievable on a ton of levels. One, for the kids, first and foremost. I mean, they're going to get exposed to a ton of different techniques, a ton of different ways to do things. They're going to be competing with some of the best kids. So you get that compete, pushing each other. I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome for the club to be involved with it, because we're trying to connect, and that's the mandate from the top down, and that's what we've been talking about for a year. So I think it's awesome on all levels, and it's number one for the kids. I just think it's going to be a great experience for those guys.
Awesome. Well, Mark, congratulations on a successful first season. You brought a lot of pride back to the Green and Gold. The crowds grew. I can tell you just on our show from text, the interest in the team is up, and there's a lot of excitement moving forward. So we look forward to next season and what's going to happen on the pitch. Thanks so much for your time.
Well, thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Mark Killam, the head coach of the Green and Gold. And man, you guys have been bidding during. It's unreal. So we're up to $27.50 now on our Mr. Dirks package, courtesy of Jean. We got J Rock is up to $17.50 on the golf. So Cons is going to be working on that and calling people during it. It's unreal. So keep that going. We'll try to get that sorted out during the commercial break. We'll come back here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Aloha, Edmonton. It's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stradler. Join us on a 7-night cruise to the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, so Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Feel a cold coming on? Reach for Oregano 8. With 8 powerful immune boosters like oregano oil, garlic, elderberry, and vitamin C, it delivers fast, effective relief. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Subaru is built for winter. Symmetrical all-wheel drive delivers power with incredible control, stability, and grip. Add 220 millimeters of ground clearance, and you're not getting stuck in snowbanks. You'll drive right through them. And inside, luxurious heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Plus, for 19 years in a row, Subaru vehicles have earned top safety pick status, giving you unmatched peace of mind. Subaru is engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Welcome to Uncommon Standards.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends. Here, you can take your time, explore the latest Fords, and enjoy the no-pressure atmosphere. It's not just about cars. It's about family, comfort, and trust. The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Do you need me to read this?
It's 5:46. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Plenty of fun to be had tonight. NHL, NBA. You could probably even get in on the PWHL if that's your thing over at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Know your limit. Stay within it. Jason had to take off. Connor Halley and Declan Kruger with you here as we will wrap up the show tonight. And quite the run here. It looks like J-Rock is going to take the golf package home, the 10 rounds, with a little appearance by Kevin Carius and Murray McCourt for $1,750. And Ed's got the lead right now at $2,800 for the Mr. Dirks package. So we might have to talk to Mr. Dirks, see if Sterling will throw in the double. Maybe we raise double that amount and get Jean in there as well. Deck, that's one that I would love to do one day. My fashion's not the best. One day, I think I got to get in there. But the month of giving, absolutely fantastic. Continuing to do great work here on the Jason Gregor Show. Year 15 of the event. If, today was one that you couldn't quite get into, maybe golf and clothing fashion isn't really your thing. That's okay. Tomorrow, a little bit of a different thing. We'll have an associate membership at the Glendale Golf and Country Club up for grabs. This one's worth $7,700. So great option. Beautiful course. I haven't been in there. I've heard and I've driven past it. It is near my house, and I drive by and think that's a place I'd like to be into. And also something we started a couple of years ago, the Pyramid of Giving. And these things, they get quite expensive, and there's a lot of people in our great city that do want to make donations and help out. We're going to be raising money for the holiday hamper on Friday. If you haven't heard of the Pyramid of Giving, it's just a simple donation. And it's fantastic. 15 people donate $100, 10 people donate $200, 4 people donate $500, 2 people donate $1,000, and all of a sudden we have $7,500 raised. So it's a really cool event. We do that every Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show, and then we might be doing some challenges as well, like we did last year. I challenged all the Chargers fans in Edmonton to donate. Nobody donated, so I think I might be the only one in our fair city. But it's a really fun time here on the Jason Gregor Show. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Perplexed Oilers fan says, man, aside from injury issues, if Montreal could add a Kadri or some sort of good number two center, they could go a ways in the playoffs. They're almost built to a playoff style hockey in Florida playoff style hockey in the playoffs. Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens have been a pretty good story here in action tonight. I think the game is underway. Last I checked, it was scoreless. Taking on it's going shortly. Taking on the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets right now are in a handful of trouble. Like, they just, with the injury to Connor Halley, he was the MVP of the league for a reason last year. Even if people in Edmonton might have disagreed with it, he was an absolute stud for them. And that's a huge loss. Another chance for Montreal to pick up a win here. And now I'm sure they will be. This is kind of the arc for the Montreal Canadiens as they've been rebuilding over the last few years, moving players out. Now they're at the point where they're going to be retaining players and going out there at that deadline and bringing players in. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do. And if you are the Calgary Flames, Kadri, we've seen him in the playoffs. The guy can be a playoff performer. The Flames might want to start tanking for a good chance at that number one overall pick. We'll see what they do. The Buffalo Sabres right now do lead the Philadelphia Flyers. Midway through the first period, Jason Gregor with his 8th goal of the season. And one other game right now after 20 minutes, Devils and Stars currently scoreless. Later tonight, you got the Ducks hosting the Mammoth. Should be a fun one. Those Anaheim Ducks right now, fun team to watch. A lot of skill on that squad. Just terrible uniforms. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, you've also got the Capitals taking on the San Jose Sharks. Speaking of fun teams to watch, the San Jose Sharks, Matthew Celebrini, Will Smith. On the flip side, you'll have Alexander Ovechkin. Tom Wilson will be running around. So if you're looking for some late night hockey this evening, plenty of things to tune into. And for the NBA fans right now, Declan, the San Antonio Spurs up on the Orlando Magic, leading by 7 points. The big news of the day, Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially on his way out of Milwaukee. He and his agent talking to the team, trying to figure out what would be best for the two sides. There's a lot of teams, like obviously some not realistic, but every team should be interested in this player. What he can do on the court is unbelievable. Declan said off air, maybe he said it with the Lowdown Flow Tide, he thinks he's the most underrated player of all time. That's why I want to see him go to a big market. Get him to one of the bigger cities in the States, get the media attention on him and see what he can do, because the guy's an absolute freak. We call him the Greek Freak for fair reasons, and we mean it in a complimentary way. Luka Doncic will not play against the Toronto Raptors in their matchup upcoming. So some potential good news for the Toronto Raptors. Declan, do you have time to hop on here? No, Declan, you're far too busy. We won't even ask you to hop on here. Some news and notes from around the sporting world. In case you missed it, FIFA World Cup going to be doing their draw on Friday. So we will talk some soccer on Friday on the Jason Gregor Show. Make sure we figure out exactly who they're going to be playing and what's going to happen in those matchups. It's going to be a lot of fun this summer. Mark Andrews signing a new extension with the Baltimore Ravens. It's a 3-year contract. Mark Andrews was set to become an unrestricted free agent in this offseason. And you know what? I feel like a lot of us remember, and fantasy football probably is a big factor of that. We remember what happened last year to start the season. It was not good for Andrews, but he ended up having actually a pretty decent season. Not one of his best season, but at 29 years old, maybe slowing down just a little bit. Finished the season with 673 yards, but a career high in touchdowns. So despite the slow start, he did very well. This year he's got 5, or 60% of the way through the season. So probably finishes around 8 or 9. And good for the Ravens to lock up a guy, keep him there. And we always know this when it comes to NFL contracts. If it's 3 years, it's probably a 2-year deal. And they might try to renegotiate heading into that final year of the contract, depending on how he's playing. But a lot of teams like to get those contracts out of the way and make sure they keep their guys with the organization. Some other things that came out in the NFL world today, at least, Big Ben Roethlisberger on a podcast mentioning that if Penn State's looking for a coach and Mike Tomlin came available, could be something interesting, keeping him in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that would be the case. If I am Mike Tomlin, I think I might want a little time away from football. He's been coaching this team for a long time, had a lot of success. The treatment of him might be unfair. He's doing the best he can. I think he's one heck of a head coach. We joke about it like that's just the team that's going to finish above 500, potentially make the playoffs. And for the last little while here, that team's quarterback play has not been good. Whether Mason Rudolph, an aging Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, an aging Ben Roethlisberger, it hasn't been their strong suit for a long time. So I think he's one heck of a coach, and potentially similar to Mike Vrabel with the New England Patriots right now. If you're going to move on from him, take a year off and then go find a team that might need your services and maybe just be a little bit more refreshed. Hard to believe the Tennessee Titans thought that Callahan would be a better coach than Mike Vrabel, but coaches do have a shelf life, I suppose, and that's the way it worked out for them. And a little other note to drop for you, Toronto Blue Jays DH George Springer, named Player of the Year by Toronto beat writers. So we know what he did throughout the season. Even into the playoffs, a lot of clutch plays for George Springer. And there you go. That is the note for him. And hey, good news. Good news for our texters here. Sterling with Mr. Dirk confirming Jason Gregor just texting me that he is going to do 2 packages. So the bids were up to $2,800. That means both of our bidders, it was John and Ed, I believe, will be taking home that package for $2,800. That means 56 $100 raised for charity. Throw in another $17.50. I'm not doing math on the radio, but that's another good day in the month of giving. A big thank you to all of our guests who joined us on the program today. Mike Rupp, Tyler Uramchuk. We had Spec, head coach of the Edmonton Elks, Mark Killam, and Business of Sport, a must listen, I will say. Rich Winter and Tyler Smith. Grab some tissues. It's a little bit emotional, but certainly the one you will want to listen. Tomorrow on the show, Landon Farrar will be by. Race Report will be a really good show as we get ready for the Oilers taking on the Kraken tomorrow night. Before we head over to Fox Sports, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate GMC. Stop in today and play Wish and Win for your chance to win up to $25,000 towards a new vehicle, a guaranteed $500 prize. Northgate Buick GMC. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
NHL scores around the league right now. Stars and Devils tied 0-0 at the end of the first. Jets and Canadians tied with the same score. That one only 2 minutes into the first period. And the Sabres and Flyers also tied that one at 1-1, 11:30 to go in the first period. In the NBA right now, Knicks lead the Hornets 14-7. Clippers lead the Hawks 16-10. And the Spurs lead the Magic 47-40. Nuggets up on the Pacers 57-54. That one with just 4 minutes to go until halftime. In the college basketball world, 12th ranked Alabama leads 7-1 Clemson 35-19 in the first half. Arkansas up on Louisville 33-22 and tied at halftime 22nd ranked Indiana and Minnesota at 33 apiece. News around the sporting world, Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have started conversations with the Bucks about his future, discussing whether his best fit is staying with the team. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks, and Chris Paul has been waived by the Clippers. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Ring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku, Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off 100